and Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. Stiles and Watkins on a Friday fun day. We're just going to stick with it. Friday fun day. Thank you to Carmichael Dave and Jason Russ. Fun crossover, crosstalk as always.
Should we thank them for that?
What is the correct term? Crosstalk or crossover?
I say crosstalk.
Okay. We will stick with crosstalk. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great weekend, of course, as we get ready for Kings Thunder. No De'Aaron Fox once again. Will the Kings be able to prevail? You know, Chris, I'm going to be honest with you. As we're going to talk a good bit of Niners today, because Niners, the bye week is over. You got to deal with Trevor Lawrence. You got to deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brock Purdy. We have a lot to say about Brock Purdy. We have some stats that are eye-opening in both ways, good and bad. But, you know, Chris, I don't know that I'm loving the vibe.
Oh, no.
And we were doing game Friday game day, right? So Friday game. So I didn't really get to talk to Dave about sports, but you know.
Oh, he doesn't do that.
No, not when we're on. At least not when we're on.
No, it's not even just
in general.
Yeah,
in general. But
in general, he doesn't.
Speaking of social media, Dave posted yesterday that no De'Aaron Fox, if the Thunder run the Kings out of the building, don't necessarily be surprised. And I'm paraphrasing here. And I don't know that I love that out of Dave. I know I definitely can't say that, or I'd be run out of Sacramento. And I understand being realistic about this. The Thunder, and I know if anybody has been high on the Thunder, it's been me.
Sure.
But I do feel, as Nate said in the sports update, I believe it has switched to 1.5, the Thunder being the favorites. I've seen as much as 2.5 for the Thunder being the favorites. The bottom line is the Kings are the underdog at home in this first in-season tournament game, and I'm not sure I'm feeling the vibes from the Kingdom today. I'm not sure I'm feeling the vibe from the Beam regime. This is an opportunity.
It is.
Right? You're playing with house money a little bit. Chet Holmgren's been rolling. Shai Gilgeous been rolling. These guys have been rolling. And I don't know. I feel like, are we underselling the Kings a little bit right now?
No. I mean, wait, Alan, have you not seen the last 3 games of Kings basketball?
I'm just saying, man.
Oh, my God. I think it's more just the fact that it's not that it's impossible. It's just it with how they've played recently, it just feels like we're right now. The biggest concern is just, can we play average or like a semblance of Kings basketball that we thought we knew what it looked like, and they're so far away from that it almost is like, I mean, when you think about how you mentioned OKC is rolling right now, they're actually playing good basketball. They're doing what people expected them to do for the most part this year.
Out the gate.
And the Kings just have been the complete opposite of that. They've been trying to, scramble and figure out this playing without De'Aaron Fox thing. And with that continuing, I just think a lot of people feel the odds are definitely not stacked in their favor. I mean, I feel like a lot of Kings fans are probably going to be the ones betting the OKC -2.5, thinking, man, let me tell you, I've watched this team.
Yeah.
They're not 2.5 point favorite. They're not 2.5 points worse than OKC. We're lucky. We're barely 2 points better than the Portland Trailblazers, So I understand why people feel down, but at the same time, I'm still holding on to I've seen way too many other teams come and play without their stars and put up fights. And I think that's a possibility for everybody on any given night. And I think the fact that the Kings have almost played so many bad games, I'm going to continue to say they're due at some point.
That's what I'm saying, man.
They have to be due at some point.
That's what I'm saying. You have to get back. You have to it's not even regressing to the mean. You're trying to improve to the mean because we know what these guys are capable of doing. And I believe, what was it between Keegan Murray and Malik Monk? What was it? 1 for 14 from three-ball land? Did they both take 7 or
I think it might have been 1 for 13, but
I know
the point stands. They only made one.
Yes, they only made one between the two of them. So if that happens, you're probably not going to win the ball game, because Malik Monk really willed himself. And again, against a team in the Blazers who they barely had enough to field a team by the time that game was over. It was DeAndre Ayton and Jeremy Grant, and that was essentially it. And Skylar Mays, who we all thought was a rookie, who's not even a rookie. So guys that we hadn't really heard of, and they played really well. And I think what it is, man, and I hate to do this cliche, but these guys are all professionals. These guys all get paid to play basketball. And if you think you can roll the ball out there, you're in for a rude awakening. And hopefully, if you are OKC as a young team, I think it's a little bit different because it's in-season game tournament. That that doesn't help, right?
Yeah.
And also, you're on the road. So I think it's harder to lay an egg on the road, and especially, hey, this is something for the in-season tournament, and if you're OKC and you haven't won anything ever, really, you're going to put your best foot forward. But there is a possibility that maybe, just maybe, they think, no De'Aaron Fox, these guys barely beat the Blazers.
Right.
They got smacked by the Rockets. Let's just go in and do our thing. So that's possible. I don't know that it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
We just got word. I will be in the building. So Chris and I will be hopefully sitting next to each other as usual. Hop on our socials. We'll have everything for you. Keep you up to date. So I hope that the energy is going to be right. They're going to be in those crispy new jerseys, the City Edition jerseys. By the way, Kings, in my opinion, have at least, and I haven't seen all of them, I can tell you right now they have a top 3 City Edition jersey.
Really?
There's some bad ones out there.
Terrible. And there's courts too.
There's some bad courts. And I like a gray court. What is it? Oakland University. They got a gray court. Not Oakland, California. It's somewhere in
the
Middle
Detroit,
America. Yeah, Detroit. So I love everything that I'm seeing. I think the vibes are going to be right. I think they're going to come out playing hard.
Yeah.
But like we said, I thought they came out playing hard against the Rockets on Monday. And I thought they came out playing hard a couple days ago. But you got to put the ball in the hoop.
Yeah.
You have to put the biscuit in the basket. They haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the thing that's going to make or break today is just, I mean, especially with De'Aaron not being out there, the shooters have to come alive. Like, and they need multiple. It can't just be Kevin Huerter seems to be back 4 of 9, I think, the other day. They need Keegan to be along with him. I think, if you can get a combined 10 plus threes out of those two guys or out of, those two and Malik or something, I think that's a recipe for the Kings having a better night than expected. And it's going to be tough. Like it's definitely going to be tough without De'Aaron. Clearly, him and Shea would go back and forth, and they would probably cancel each other out, which would give the Kings a lot better of a chance. But they're going to have to attack this game differently than I think they've tried to approach these last few games. They have to try and slow down Shea because Shea, we saw what Jeremy Grant did the other day. Shea's more than capable of doing that, and they don't have Skylar Mays to have to put up the game of his life to make that game close. They have so much more talent that's more than capable and more than willing to put up points and make tonight a really, really tough game for Sacramento. So I think physicality will be the key if the Kings want to keep it close tonight, not letting, OKC get comfortable and get into any sort of rhythm. But it's a lot easier said than done. And we just, frankly, I mean, again, to bring it back around, we just haven't seen them have a good performance really in like 2 weeks. Right.
Without fouling, though, because physicality is not getting blown by and then just grabbing on a guy. It's funny you say that, and we're going to get into this in much more depth as we dive into the show. But it is funny you bring up the physicality because with Skylar Mays and on one hand, I'm thinking if you can't keep Skylar Mays in front of you, how in the world are you going to keep Shea Gilgeous in front of you? But I would also say that Skylar wasn't somebody on their radar.
Yeah,
maybe.
For sure.
And when I'm watching the game, I literally rewinded a specific drive from Skylar because I'm thinking, what's going on here? Is he that quick? And what it is it's not even a matter of getting beat off the dribble. It's a matter of those screens, those little rub screens or legit screens. The Kings are terrible at trying to communicate. Are you going to, if you're going to switch, and that's what I think Drapes was saying on the broadcast, go under that bad boy. Yeah. Make Skylar Mays shoot the basketball because they weren't going under it, and Shea can shoot, better than Skylar Mays, but go under some of those screens and stay in front of them. How many times and times again? It wasn't that he was just quicker than you. It was that they weren't really communicating on screens. Yeah. And then the screen comes and whoever it was, the bigger defender that was supposed to either switch or not, that guy got burned. Yeah. So we watched that over and I honestly thought it was my TV was broken. I thought I had I just moved. I thought maybe the Wi-Fi was getting Xfinity. And actually I got a Friday gripe on that whole situation a little bit later, but I thought maybe my Wi-Fi was out or what's going on. So defensively, I would hope that Mike Brown and the coaching staff figure out, hey man, we just got to communicate on these things. If somebody is going to burn, you just have to commit to something. If they're going to burn you from 3-ball land, at least let's see, right? When you play pickup, can this guy shoot or not? Yeah. If he makes 2 in my face, right in my eye, okay, I'll get up on screens. But until then, I'm going underneath that bad boy. Yeah. And they just have been caught between not figuring out what they want to do.
Yeah, and that's all communicate. I mean, yeah, you laid it out perfectly. That's all communication, and Mike Brown is seeing the same exact thing, and he's pulling his hair out because pick and roll defense is the number one thing that if you can't stop the pick and roll, then you're not going to be able to survive in today's NBA, right? Because that's what a majority of teams are going to run. And I'm really curious to see how OKC, what they look like, because we haven't seen them with Chet Holmgren. I've watched a couple games so far this year, but nothing really too in depth trying to figure out what they're trying to do. And so I'm curious, are they going to use Chet in the pick and roll? Do they use Chet more on the perimeter offensive or in how Chet, who's, I wouldn't say more of a finesse. I think Chet is actually kind of sneaky physical, but just kind of how the juxtaposition of Chet, who's this long, skinny kid, and Sabonis, who's this, I wouldn't say short, but like obviously not short, but he's a little bit stockier and not so much, a big towering 7'3" guy or something like that. It's going to be interesting to see who wins that battle, because I would think Sabonis is probably looking at Chet Holmgren and being like, this kid doesn't stand a chance. Like, I'm just going to out physical him.
Battle of the Bulldogs, right? Both Gonzaga.
Absolutely.
So you got to put on for your city. You got to put on for your school. I mean, Sabonis, this is the new kid on the block. You can't be getting punked out here by the younger dude when you are the elder statesman, when you are the veteran. So I think that's going to be the highlighted matchup. I would assume we see that together the most. I don't think it would be Alex Len or JaVale or anybody like that. So again, obviously they're backing up Sabonis anyway. So yeah, I think that's the biggest one. And who in the world slow down Shea? And I'm not going to get you started on Shea being 6'6", and somebody is going to be Keegan or it's going to be Keon Ellis. We'll get into all that. Going to talk a lot of football as well, specifically when we get back, as we talk about Brock Purdy and the Niners. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Niners talk and more Kings talk. Larry Krueger at 1 p.m. Don't want to miss that as well. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to play too and say go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
I'm a Vietnam veteran.
I always knew that I was going to join the military.
My grandfather pulled out his own military uniform and actually let me put it on.
The greatest thing you could ever do in your life is to change and impact the world around you.
Anybody that has ever served in the military has that sense of serving others.
I wanted to keep the people of the United States safe.
Being a veteran comes with a responsibility.
My role is being a protector.
We're born a proud country. We need to keep it that way. Rick Barnes.
Have you ever heard that phrase, less is more? Well, at Harbor Freight, we're all about more for less, because we know you like to do stuff, to make stuff, to improve stuff. That's why everything in our stores, from miter saws to tool chests to cordless impact wrenches, is priced affordably. So get out there and drill, paint, and saw to your heart's content. We just ask, whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Yesterday, we had an extra 15 minutes, and it was good stuff. Played a great game. Chris or Keegan, and that was fun. Thank you for participating if you were a part of that. And now we look forward to the Kings. We look forward to Kings, Thunder, and we will be breaking that all down. But we also want to break down the Niners, because bye week is over. It's been over. And now it is time to get ready for a team that I saw a stat, I believe it was Bleacher Report, that, you think about Trevor Lawrence getting the ball out quickly when we were speaking with Emil earlier in the week, that he gets the ball out quickly, and also Chris Biederman about how you just think about the Jaguars and that offense to get the ball out quickly. Trevor Lawrence, when it comes to deep passes, has some of the best accuracy in the league. Yeah. Right. And they get after it and they can throw the football. Sure. So, in terms of that secondary with the Niners, and we know Chase Young's going to be playing, so you got to get after the quarterback. It's going to be a race to the quarterback. We'll see We'll see. Hopefully it will be.
Can't wait.
You know, we've had this running joke, if you've been listening, about pizza and how people say NFL and football is like pizza. Pizza, the comparison being that pizza is always good and football is always
even
good.
Bad pizza.
Even bad pizza
good
is still good pizza. So yesterday, last night,
yes, sir.
Bears, Panthers.
Oh gosh,
pizza. Good pizza?
Definitely not pizza. That was not pizza. That was like I'm trying to think. That was like a Hot Pocket or something, which I still like Hot Pockets.
I like Hot Pockets.
It's not pizza. It's definitely not pizza, and it doesn't quite hit the same as pizza.
I just believe that there is such thing as bad pizza.
Yeah.
And I think that
it's like a pizza bagel or something.
Now, bad pizza, I think what people need to say is that bad pizza is better than no pizza.
Yeah.
Right? So the question is, was that bad pizza better than no pizza? And I would say
I probably would rather have no pizza.
I thought it was interesting only because of the juxtaposition between a D2 undrafted guy in Tyson Bagent versus Bryce Young, the number 1 pick.
Sure.
You had DJ Moore, who oddly enough, the Panthers, and I think that was in part to get that, to get Bryce Young, but the Panthers, they lose DJ Moore, which Bryce Young really could use. And then you have Tyson beating Bryce Young. So did I watch every snap? No, I can't do that. No, why would I do that to myself? But I was at least a little bit interested in it. And when you go on social media, people will watch, man.
They will.
I think we're in the minority here. I think we're in the minority here.
I don't think so. I think that those storylines get you to turn the game on, but then once you watch the game and you're actively watching it, you're like, wow, this is trash, and I would literally rather do – like, it might be on. It might be in the background.
Yeah.
Am I paying attention to it the same way next Thursday I'll be watching Bengals-Ravens? Absolutely not. Like, I football doesn't have that kind of stranglehold over me where it's like I have to – doesn't matter. It's not a pizza. It's not I don't care that this is a 1-7 team going against a 2-6 team or a 2-7 team. I'm still gonna watch and I'm still gonna find storylines. I'm still gonna say, oh wow, the Bears are really figuring it out, or that game was a lot more. They actively showed like the draft order in that game. So I think that game's a lot more about what those two teams are building. But I was not a fan. I had it on. I watched the game. I enjoyed none of it. Absolutely none of it. I can't like those quarterbacks. It's an accomplishment if they make a 7-yard completion.
Yeah, Bryce had that 40-yarder, and I thought, okay, maybe he's going to turn it on, and it did not come on.
No.
The batteries were dead, whatever the case is. They were one team was 1-7, one team was 1-6. Nate, I want you to hop in on this because you are a big Niners guy. As we talk, as I bring it back to the Niners here, and 916-339-1140, I want you to be a part of the conversation as well, because here's the question. Better underdog story, Brock Purdy or Tyson Bagent? You have Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, although he did go to a Power 5 school. He started, I know there's that video going around that he got benched at one point, Brock Purdy, I don't know if you saw that, but he started all 4 years or for a very long time at Iowa State. Mr. Irrelevant comes in. He's played very well for the Niners. They go to the playoffs, don't get it done, NFC Championship. He's rocking and rolling now. Or Tyson Bagent, who's won a couple games, undrafted, Division II. We hear about FCS fairly often. Shout out Trey Lance. We do not, and Jimmy Garoppolo, all those guys. We do not hear about Division II players in the NFL.
I've heard some pretty crazy stories about the things that he would have to do as well, like like ice baths, literally having to go to some farm across the street to get in their trough and stuff like that, and learning the Bears playbook on the Samford field with his cousin or something running routes for him, and it's a crazy story for sure. But Nate, what do you think?
Better underdog story, Tyson or Brock?
I think the bigger question is, how many yards per game? What is his cousin average in the NFL?
Yeah.
But I think the Division II thing is wild, but Brock's obviously been more successful.
Right.
But is that because of the tools around him? Would Tyson be this good in the Niners?
No. And people get on me for being a Brock hater, but even when Dan Orlovsky said Mac Jones would look like this with the Niners, stop that.
All right.
Wild. I think there is a line
Yeah.
And that line is probably Mac Jones because would I take Tyson over Mac Jones? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are we saying
the question?
Are we saying what makes the better movie, or like
what makes the better? Yeah, sure.
Brock
Disney
makes a better movie.
I think Tyson makes a better movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Tyson there hasn't been enough things that happened with him yet. I think it's too early in his story. It's too early in both their stories, but why does Tyson make the better movie?
I think you can end the movie with him starting. Like, you don't have to actually show I think like out. How he got here is a lot better and more obscure and a little bit less I wouldn't say less common traveled, but you have like the obscure, like, again, like this is literally movie stuff where he's going to a farm to get an ice bath and stuff like that.
That's nuts. It's really hard to beat. As much as Mr. Irrelevant is cool, it's hard to beat Undrafted because you still got the call.
Mm-hmm. And he moved up this offseason. Like it happened so quick with him. Like during the preseason, I was hearing, Tyson Bagent is like rising up the Bears ranks right now in training camp. And then almost to the point where I swear on everything that is good. I'm in NFC North circles. People were talking about starting Tyson Bagent week 1
over
in
Fields.
a legitimate conversation. That's wild. In NFC North talk. In Bears talk.
That might be more of an indictment on Justin Fields because it wasn't great. No, let's not get it twisted. It wasn't wrong last night. It wasn't great last night at all.
He played like a backup quarterback.
But it is hard to beat. It is hard to beat an undrafted player.
This whole conversation just makes me think of Kurt Warner, and I know that brings
I didn't see that movie. Did you?
I did not. I don't care for it.
No.
But just the bag and grocery story. Like, I mean, how much? I mean that. Some of that's probably really played up, not just in the movie, but in media in general. Kind of like how they talk about Kyle Shanahan babysitting Christian McCaffrey as a kid. Like Kyle Shanahan's come out and been like, "Yeah, that didn't really happen," like everyone says, but whatever. I'll just say Brock Purdy. I'll take a side here.
I mean, if Brock wins the Super Bowl, then there you go. Like, if you can end the movie with him hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, then it's like, okay, of course, that's.
Right, but we're saying right now. You have to make the movie right now.
Yeah.
And if you have to make the movie right now, honestly, I actually think it's Brock. I love Tyson. I love the story. Tyson Bagent, undrafted, D2, hard-earned. Yeah. He wins. He beats the Raiders right in front of his whole family was there, right? I love all that. But Brock... And you have the term with Mr. Irrelevant, so that plays for Disney. They're excited about that.
Yeah.
They already have it. That could be the name of the movie.
Yeah.
That could be the name of the movie right
that's
there.
sold.
Right. So you have that. And then you have the fact that he came in and he broke so many rookie records.
Yeah.
And they don't care that he had the Avengers version of an offense and a top 8 defense, but they were top 5 last season. So they don't care about that.
That's like in Moneyball where they just gloss over the fact that the A's had a ridiculous pitching staff.
It's
like, let's not
no.
talk about
We don't ever talk
you just
about
act like everyone around him's mediocre.
Yeah, exactly.
George Kittle's like happy to be with Brock. Like,
right. George Kittle couldn't do anything before.
Could you
Brock.
imagine how they would cast Jimmy too? Because you have to make Jimmy unlikable, so he's just got to be the hottest, dumbest guy possible who's just
Channing
like
Tatum.
Just a complete D.
You can't go Channing.
No, probably not. It's
got the buzz cut. You know who it could be? It could be if you turn back the clock a little bit. Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell.
Maybe like Jake Gyllenhaal or something like
Jake
that.
Gyllenhaal.
Like a ripped Jake Gyllenhaal or something.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan's Kevin James.
He's got to walk by Brock's locker at some point and be like, "Sorry, bro." Yeah. He's really got to play up the
he throws his towel at him. Yeah. Watch this, brother. Yeah. Wow. I think it's
I think we're starting to write the movie right now.
Trey Lance has to be in there.
Trey is played by Dak Prescott.
Right. He's the chosen one.
Commercials already.
Oh man, that's so great.
Trey Lance, huh?
How the movie is kind of writing itself now that I think about it.
It's got to be Brock.
Yeah.
Even right now. And Tyson, that could be maybe a Disney Plus series.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a Disney short. You know how like before like Monsters Inc. or something, they show that little little 3-minute movie. That could be the Tyson Bagent story.
Yeah, so Tyson, good for you. It wasn't great ball, right? It wasn't good pizza, not to me, but at least you got a W. And on the flip side of this, we spent so much time talking about Tyson. I've heard some wild stories and take this with a grain of salt about the whole Bryce Young versus CJ Stroud thing, because I heard a story. My buddy told me that the Panthers wanted CJ Stroud, and you've seen the videos of grabbing his traps and wow, this guy, you're just chumming it up with him.
So weird.
Apparently they decided to go with Bryce Young because he ordered scallops and a salad at dinner. And they thought that was really mature. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt.
That's ridiculous. I mean, I actually shouldn't say that's ridiculous, because I believe Whitey actually told me a story about how Ricky Rubio, I think it was with the Kings, with Jeff Petrie back in the day when they had him in Sacramento. They brought Ricky Rubio to dinner with him and his, I believe him and his mom, and Ricky ordered a steak, and then his mom cut the steak for him. And at that point, Jeff Petrie was like, "I'm out."
Wow.
I don't blame him for that one.
Kind of, I mean, it's the same logic. It's literally the same logic where it's like, I mean, it's the reverse logic. But it's like,
there's no way that happened.
What cut of steak was it, though?
I mean,
Ricky was also like 17 when he was being,
I don't care.
16, 17 when he was.
You
I
do
mean,
your
that's
laundry.
ridiculous, but
Come on, man. That's insane.
I also wouldn't draft him if I saw his mom cutting that steak.
No, I wouldn't either, but there's no way that happened.
Well, I'm just telling you what I heard.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, we've been talking Brock Purdy. So let's compare him to the other QBs. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Friday night at the Golden One Center, it's the Kings' first ever in-season tournament game.
Sabonis heels at the arc. Now to Keegan Murray on a run by. He shoots for three. He's got the triple. Keegan Murray from downtown.
The Oklahoma City Thunder are in town to face the Sacramento Kings for Friday Night Hoops.
The quest for the cup begins Friday on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to folsomlakehonda.com. Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gobble, gobble, folks. It's that time of year again when the leaves fall, and so do the prices at Elk Grove Kia. We're bringing you Thanksgiving early with deals that'll make your wallet say thanks. This fall, our lot is stuffed with the latest Kia models, and we've carved out incredible savings. Get your hands on a brand new Kia with Elk Grove Kia's award-winning reliability and service you can trust, unlike your Auntie's dodgy broccoli casserole. Don't wait until the turkey's on the table. Come to Elk Grove Kia and feast on the best deals this fall. And don't worry if you have challenged credit. Our finance team has over 100 years of experience. They may or may not have even helped a pilgrim or two get qualified. So hurry on down to Elk Grove Kia, where the prices are falling faster than Uncle Bob falls asleep in front of the football game at Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving sale going on now at Elk Grove Kia, located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com. Elk Grove Kia, where the only thing bigger than our savings is our gratitude for our amazing customers.
Elk Grove Kia. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Nate Littlefield. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. Your Sacramento Kings make their debut in the NBA in-season tournament tonight. When the courts are gray, it's going to be a good day. They take on the 5-3 OKC Thunder, who have won their last two. OKC is favored by 1.5 with Fox and Trey Lyles still out. We'll have all your audio bliss right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night, 5:30 p.m., pregame at 6:30, tip-off with the G-Man at 7. Don't forget, all guests are brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are the headlines. Now we get back to Stiles and Watkins.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, 12th official show. Thank you for hanging with us. 10 a.m., 2 p.m. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. Big shout out to my parents. My dad was in the Navy. My mother was in the Air Force, so shout out to them. Shout out to all the veterans out there, and thank you for your service. As we talk on a Friday fun day about casting the Brock Purdy movie. And Joe Giroux has something to say.
Shout out, Joe.
Miles Teller as Jimmy G. We need that facial hair.
Yeah, it's got to have.
Can he get the facial hair?
He needs the beard, and at this point, it's got salt and pepper in it.
Yeah,
too, you know,
right.
He'd be a good jerk, though. That guy seems like a real jerk.
Yeah,
I like Miles Teller.
Yeah,
I like
be a
Miles
likable jerk.
We got to get the facial hair, and we're in Will Poulter or Tom Holland as Brock. Tom Holland, I'm
Holland
sold.
is hilarious.
We have the chat of the day so far here
That
at
is
10:33.
hilarious.
Tom Holland as Brock.
Who would play Kyle?
There's somebody. Just give me time.
Would Kyle need to have somebody in there? He would. He might not need to be in the movie. You could probably get away with like a quarterback coach that's like a made up Jonah Hill character, you know, where it's like a mixture of people.
Right. We got to find somebody.
Or like John Lynch has to have somebody too.
Because you have to be in the draft room.
Yeah, exactly.
With the last pick in the draft.
Should we go with him?
And Brock has his head.
We need a tackle.
Yeah.
I trust this kid.
And Brock has his head down somewhere. Yeah. He's just in Arizona, very sad because he doesn't think he's
not getting drafted. Yeah. Somebody's
Exactly.
telling him it's going to be all right, man. It's okay. Undrafted free agents.
Right.
You know, you'll find a practice squad somewhere maybe.
We got somebody for you.
Yeah.
We got somebody for you. So, yeah, we got the movie going. We're ready to write it. So, get your pen game ready as we talk underdogs and a little bit of Bryce Young. Very interesting. I did look up during the break this story about Ricky Rubio. Grantland put out an article in 2012.
This was a while ago.
And it said before the 2009 draft, there was a rumor going around that the Sacramento Kings passed on Ricky Rubio because his mother, Tona, cut his steak for him during a meeting with the GM. And there's a little blurb here that says, part of this is a misunderstanding of Spanish culture. Spaniards are just closer to their families than many Americans. More generations live under one roof. Even the famous Barcelona midfielder Xavi Hernandez still lives with his parents, and he's 32 years old, and that was in 2012. So,
okay, sure,
right.
But sounds like homeboy lives with his parents and not has his parents cut up a steak. I think it's more just like it's
right. Is that part of the culture or living at home?
Yeah, you can still have independence and live with your parents.
Right.
But like,
is that part of the deal?
I think the bigger concern is that he clearly doesn't do a lot of things for himself and doesn't understand.
And you're supposed to lead our franchise.
Exactly.
Because it goes on to say his parents didn't even allow him to talk to media until he was 18. That's all. That's fine.
That's
we don't have a
good
problem
parenting.
with that. Right. We don't have a problem with that. It's the cutting.
It's the cutting of the steak.
We need some confirmation. Is the cutting part of Spanish culture?
You know what, though? Is that also something that, like, who cares? Because all these guys have chefs anyway. Like, how many of these guys are actually – I mean, again, it's more of the symbolicness of it, but It's like,
well,
these guys all have chefs.
But
like,
here's the whole point. Chris Verlaud came in with a great talking point because he said and it's easy to do now because hindsight's 2020, but let's do it because it's fun anyway. Sure. What players, and we'll just keep it to NBA, NBA players, if you were drafting them, but again, you don't know what they're going to be.
Sure.
But let's say it's whoever.
Well, let's say use football props like Caleb Williams.
Anybody.
Or something,
Anybody that is supposed to be a for sure thing.
Add it to the Will Levis weird things.
Yeah. And if Will Levis can get drafted, putting mayo in his coffee and eating bananas without taking off the peel.
Disgusting.
What's worse?
Yeah. No, I would definitely say I would trust someone less who does those decisions with food than someone who has their mom cut their steak.
Maybe he was just trying to focus on the conversation.
Right.
Hey, Mom, can you just cut this real quick?
Hey, Mom, sorry.
Yeah. I think there are more people out there at 17 getting their steak cut by their mothers than putting mayo in their coffee and eating bananas.
Doing frat
with
activities,
the peel on.
Frat loser activities.
And you said if Luka had his mom cut his steak in front of you, you're still in.
I would still draft him. I would
because you know what Luka is now, though. That's the problem.
No, I was very high on Luka at the time. I was very, very high on Luka at the time, and it's if there's definitely a level though. It's one of those things where if you already have questions, like it adds to the list of. Okay, is this the thing that kind of the straw that broke the camel's back?
Right.
Like Wemby, Wemby, I'm still taking Wemby. I don't care if he cuts steak with his toes. Like I'm taking that dude. Like it doesn't matter how weird he is or anything like that. I'm going to take the chance on the 7'5" guy who dribbles like a point guard. There's definitely a limit though. I just don't know what it is. It's one of those things that when you see it, you know it.
I really want to move off this conversation, but I can't.
Yeah.
Because now I'm thinking about the Caleb Williams crying thing.
It's
thinking
all
about
similar into the evaluation.
It's all similar because Caleb Williams crying and a lot of people, I'm not Coach Jason Brown. I wouldn't draft him even if I worked for an NFL team. Well, that's why you don't.
Exactly.
Well, don't get me started on that. So
it definitely is. It's the same logic. It's the same part of your brain that's coming up with, okay, this equals this. Caleb Williams crying equals I'm not going to take him. It's all the same.
It's all the same thing. And I think, and it's funny because Caleb was probably the closest going into the season. I don't know about now. Now some people think Drake May might catch him because going into the season, Caleb was as surefire as Wembanyama. Not the same.
This happen all the time though.
It does because people overthink things, right? Trevor Lawrence,
exactly.
A little bit of
Andrew
it.
Luck, the same exact. Andrew Luck was the most can't miss prospect in history.
RG3 pops up.
RG3 has the season, and of course, Andrew Luck and Trevor Lawrence still pick number one, but the conversation becomes a thing, and it's like it really just shouldn't. Like, football is weird like that, where it's not even like in basketball, people, your high school ranking can get you drafted still, top 10. Harry Giles was picked in the first round because he was the number one high school player when he was like a junior. Football's not like that for whatever reason, where you can win the Heisman your sophomore season, come back for a junior season where everyone knows that it's just, hey, stay healthy and you're going to be the first pick in the draft. But then all of a sudden things start to happen. Other people have good seasons. You don't have the same fire you had last year, and people talk themselves into, okay, well, actually, maybe he's not as can't miss as what we thought. And it just feels like people almost look for reasons not to take Caleb Williams instead of looking at the clear and obvious things that he does well.
Yeah, I mean, I would, if, I don't know, whoever you're a team of, I would be, unless you have your guy, right? And I saw this as well. If you don't have a top 10 quarterback, you are looking for a quarterback, right? In some capacity, which I thought was a really interesting thought because I don't think we normally think about it like that. Somebody like you, Minnesota Vikings with Kirk Cousins, you wouldn't necessarily think like that. The problem is,
I think that's the problem with NFL GMs personally. If I were a GM, I would take a quarterback every season. I've never understood why teams are like, we have a quarterback, we're fine. We don't need to take third, fourth round QBs. Well, how about the fact that if you have two good QBs, if you stumble upon a Dak Prescott or something like that, and your intention is to bring him on as a backup, well, all of a sudden it's like, you have this incredibly valuable asset that it's extra. It's like how many we all play fantasy football. Sometimes you end up having an extra quarterback. You end up having an extra tight end, an extra receiver. And it's like, okay, I can use this to maybe I need an extra flex or something. I'll just use this thing to cash in and get something that I'm actually using now. I've never understood why teams just punt on backup QBs because they feel set with Kirk Cousins or Matt Ryan or even, the Lions with Jared Goff right now. Like, do the Lions really think 5 years from now Jared Goff's going to be their quarterback?
I believe, but
wouldn't.
Well, hold on now.
I wouldn't want to.
Hold on. I do believe that Hendon Hooker, and the only reason I know this is because I am a random. I love Tennessee, the Vols, even though I've never been there. No reason to like them, but I'm pretty sure the Lions drafted Hendon Hooker, who is still recovering from the ACL. So there's just that's the flyer that you're talking about. Why not? Just in case. So the Lions, I would say, are doing it properly. Real quick before we get to a break. It's interesting the level of can't miss prospects, because even though we talk about Caleb Williams, if Wemby was in March Madness, right, or a game to get into March Madness, because Caleb Williams didn't cry in the playoffs, he cried knowing that they're not going to get into the playoffs. If Wemby, it probably would take him 3 steps to get to the top of the arena. Takes 3 steps to find his mom and is crying with his mom after they get eliminated from the ability to get into March Madness. Nobody would blink an eye. Nobody would blink an eye.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I do. Yes, I think that no one would blink.
So there's levels to can't miss. Got to get to a break. When we get back, CBS Sports ranked the quarterbacks. Give us your guess on where Brock Purdy is. We have the top 12. Where is Brock Purdy? Give us your guess, and we'll read off the guesses. Let's see if Nate gets it right. Let's see if Chris gets it right. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m.
on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, as always, of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening at Hoblet this month?
The Black Friday sales event is here, so you can save up to $14,500 off MSRP when you lease a new 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4xe. That's one of America's favorite SUVs to get your family where they need to go. And you can save thousands in gas over the life of the vehicle.
Okay, but what about that Jeep Wrangler that everybody loves?
Big savings there, too. Right now, save up to $13,000 off MSRP when you lease a new 2024 Jeep Wrangler Sport S 4xe. And yes, I did say the all-new 2024, Dave. I see the surprise on your face.
There you go. Better hurry in. Save thousands on your next Jeep. And they have 100 4xEs in stock as well. Stop by Hoblet Dodge for a test drive today, or search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices. Unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
14,500 total net savings after 11,500 factory rebates and 3,000 dealer discount. 13,000 total net savings after 10,000 factory rebates and 3,000 dealer discount. Rebates include 7,500 federal tax credit rebate. Subject to change without notice. Lease options subject to credit approval. Not everyone will qualify. 5 each net savings. See dealer for details.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, and thank you for your service. Still a fun Friday as we discuss who's going to play Kyle Shanahan in the Brock Purdy movie. Who's going to play Brock? We have Tom Holland as Brock.
It's pretty good.
Right now we have Jake Gyllenhaal as Jimmy Garoppolo, possibly Miles Teller if he can grow some scruff. And on the 714, we have our best Kyle Shanahan thought to cast as well. Christian Bale as Kyle Shanahan is a must. So shout out to the 714. That is a great call right there.
It's also scary because Christian Bale's like one of those method actors who like gets way too into the role. Like I think he gained like 150 pounds or something crazy to be Dick Cheney,
and then
like,
loses it for
he's
other
gonna have to
roles.
lose it to be Kyle. Kyle's like he's a skinny dude. You know,
well, the thing about, he's done doing that.
He said
Christian
he's done
Bale,
doing that.
Yeah, because I think
He
it just
should
takes a wild toll on his body.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, if you are going to be a method actor in that way, he might mess around and get hired as a coach after the movie.
Oh man, that's true.
Get super into analytics and something like that.
Panthers are calling in.
Panthers are calling them. So we got some things rolling here. Keep them coming in. Keep the calls coming as well. 916-339-1140. And the YouTube chat as always. Shout out to the YouTube chat. Always doing it big for us here at Stiles and Watkins, 12th official show. And it's time to, we play this game underrated, overrated, properly rated. And Brock Purdy is one of the most confusing. I don't know what it is about these Northern California teams, right? Whether it's Sabonis, Brock Purdy, right? If you were Draymond Green deals with it as well, right? All these guys, just very hard to figure out where they belong. So CBS this week put out their power rankings for quarterbacks. And a lot of Niner fans have been tired. I'm tired of the disrespect of Brock Purdy. So I only have the top 12 here, so that gives you that much of a guess that he's in the top 12. So I'm going to have everybody guess. You can hop on the chat as well. This is from CBS Sports.
When, though? When?
This is from Tuesday.
Okay.
Yes. So where do you think Brock Purdy is ranked? And this is our version of Friday games.
And this is like where is Brock Purdy ranked in terms of like, is this a power ranking or is this a
power ranking week to week? This is going into week 10.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So like Patrick Mahomes,
man.
Jalen Hurts, those guys are not in this thing because they have buys this week.
No, they are. It's just assessing all the QBs going into week 10.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. My guess would have been 14, honestly. But 12. So top 12.
I would say
I'm going to go 9 then.
He's in the top 12. Then I would probably say, you said 9. I'll say like 9 or 10. If I had to guess.
Is he 12?
We have Lamar Jackson at 1.
Wow.
Fair. He's
balling
playing
right
out
now.
of his
He's
mind.
balling.
He's almost like, you remember Hunter Pence when he would just get on heaters and Brandon Belt and some of these guys? When Lamar gets hot, look out.
Yeah.
You don't know how long
so
he's going to be
good.
hot for.
Yeah.
Right? Jalen Hurts, number 2.
Really?
This is really interesting.
I don't know.
Josh Allen, number 3.
That's wrong.
That's interesting.
That's wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong.
That's wrong.
But how do you really feel, Nate?
I don't like Josh Allen really that much.
All right.
This is how quarterbacks are playing up to this point.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Number 4.
Okay. Just the fact that Patrick Mahomes hasn't been said yet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Number 4, CJ Stroud.
Okay, that's insane. How are we taking CJ Stroud over Patrick Mahomes?
It's not based on what they've done. It's based on this season and up till now.
Like who has been the best quarterback up to
That's
this
why
point,
I like these
in terms of quarterback
because there's
play,
no grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Right? Like your cell phone.
Aaron Rodgers is just always going to be top 3.
Exactly.
And,
That's why I like the most drops in the NFL though too. Whatever. I shouldn't be defending the Chiefs. What am I doing?
Nate. Patrick Mahomes number 5. Okay.
It's just wild that CJ Stroud. I love CJ Stroud too. I don't love him.
Joe Burrow, number 6.
Oh,
he's playing
great, but like, can you just discount the first 4 weeks? Like, how are you? Because this is the thing. This is my issue. I mean, I understand it's done today or done this week, but like, how can you throw away Burrow's first 4 weeks, but not keep that same energy for Brock's first 5 weeks in terms of like taking that into
No, that's
account?
fair.
What about Josh Allen too? He's been super streaky. He has 9 interceptions this year.
Same with Jalen Hurts. That's why I'm
he's a
shocked
gunslinger.
Jalen Hurts
He's a
is number 2.
gunslinger.
Yeah,
he's a gunslinger.
I don't think that makes you good.
Yeah.
Number 7, Tua.
Okay.
I would put Tua higher. I think that's disrespectful to Tua. Like as an individual. Okay. This is
whatever. Yeah.
This is why
Keep
lists
rocking.
are frustrating.
Number 8.
Where's Brock?
Number 8, Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Boo.
This is a lot of recency bias. You can very much tell that this is like an ongoing power ranking where like Brock is just kept slipping. If
Number 9
is
Brock Purdy.
I called it.
You did.
So who's behind him? Because that's also
Number
That's
10,
not right,
Justin Herbert. Number 11, Trevor Lawrence, which is a little surprising to me.
Okay.
And number 12, Jared Goff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree. I very much disagree with that list. I think a lot of those guys should be high. Wow, that's really surprising.
Josh Allen should not be 3.
Josh Allen should definitely not be 3.
That's pretty
Joe
nuts.
Burrow's playing better ball right now than Josh Allen.
I agree.
For sure.
CJ's been really fun this year, but he hasn't last week was really the coming, like the 5 touchdowns, 480. He's had a couple 400-yard passing games, but I don't know if I would put him as the fourth best performing quarterback for the entire year.
I don't even know if the issue is CJ Stroud or Jalen Hurts at number 2, because Jalen Hurts is my. I would know. He's on my fantasy team and he's cost me a couple games.
Yeah.
Jalen at number 2.
Yeah, he's had a lot of turnovers this year.
There have been team wins the Eagles have been, not Jalen.
I feel
wins.
like they factor in the tush push a lot into
it's
Jalen Hurts as well.
He can be the X factor on that team, though, for sure. Like, he takes him over the top sometimes.
Yeah.
And recently, I don't
like, if he plays well, they're almost unstoppable. Like, if he plays like how he did in that Super Bowl against the Chiefs, like, they win a game like that against
if he doesn't fumble.
28 other teams.
He doesn't fumble.
Yeah.
Right? The brotherly fumble, unfortunately. Is Brock rated correctly?
He's
or
a little
too
low.
High? Too high?
He's a little too high right now.
Wow.
Just right now.
I think a couple of those, like I would put Trevor Lawrence ahead of him. I would probably put Jared Goff ahead of him. Just
not Dak Prescott.
Not Dak. I would not put Dak ahead of him.
Why do they do this with the Cowboys?
Because they have to. They're obligated
it's so
to.
Annoying.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Can I just say Dak has played pretty well the last couple of weeks? Just the last couple weeks. Just the last couple
to
weeks.
me, Dak is empty calories.
He did.
Yeah. Dak is empty
That's
calories.
very fair,
to me.
for sure.
It looks good. Wow. If you are a box score Johnny, right? Dak is your guy.
Yeah.
But if you watch the game,
it's tough. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's
really,
always one thing.
Frustrating.
Let me ask you this. Dak, number 8, right?
Yeah.
At the end of that game against the Eagles, even though the refs earlier on in the game, a lot went the Eagles' way.
For sure.
Gift wrapped, right? He just threw it up in the air, underthrew it, right? And next thing you know, you're on you're in the red zone. Yeah. Basically, you're down 5. You can win the game. How confident? You said Dak's been playing well. How confident were you that Dak was going to get it done?
There was a 0% chance. He was going to mess it up somehow.
I'm watching with my dad, and I'm like, he's like, "What do you think right here?" I'm like, "Well, Dallas is going to lose in a heartbreaking way."
Yeah.
He said, which was not. That's not. I'm not patting myself on the back. That's not a hot take.
No,
that's not a hot take.
No.
You know, you have when you put Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy together, I mean, that's just a recipe for you're going to blow a game.
It's really funny. Why didn't you dive for the 2-point conversion? I would be furious.
Or stepping out of bounds.
He did the flip, the front flip.
Yeah.
It just look. I I think that Brock is probably right where he should be. Who's ahead of him and who's behind him might not be right, but I do think I would still put Brock in the top 10. Because I can't say that it's disrespectful to Brock. Some people would say he should be higher, but those are Niner homers.
I just feel
you cannot go higher than about 8. Now, do I think Dak should be 8? No, but that doesn't mean Brock should be.
I feel like Brock's bad games weigh more on him or people put weight on Brock's bad games more than they put weight on other people's bad games.
Yeah, I agree. Because he's the new hot thing, you know?
I will continue. If Brock Purdy had a game like Josh Allen had in week 1, brutal. He would just never, ever survive that.
Yeah.
Because, again, I just that game will forever stick out in my head as Aaron Rodgers goes out in that first drive, is out for whatever, the entire season or whatever. Josh Allen gave them that game. I think he threw 3 interceptions, and they were all just lobs up for grabs. Granted, it was week 1, but it's like if Brock had a performance like that, he would just the entire season would be about making up for that one game.
Exactly. And if you go through quickly the years and where these guys are in this top 12 and how many years they've been playing, the only person that has been playing for less time is C.J. Stroud, and we don't even know if he should be that high.
Well, and everybody's good when they're first start.
Exactly. There's no book. There's no book out on them. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Brock Purdy talk and Niners talk. At about 11:15, we will turn back over to the Kings. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
With wet weather here, you're probably going to play a few rounds in the rain, so keep a few things in mind in those wet conditions. The ball probably won't go as far because you'll get little, if any, run out. If you tend to hit the ball low, maybe think about adjusting the loft of your driver to carry the ball farther. And when you get to the short clubs on the wet ground, your wedge can have a tendency to dig into the turf, so focus on hitting the ball first. And if you occasionally spin the ball back on the greens, expect more of that to happen when they're wet. Now, all of this assumes that you're ready to play in the rain. You own waterproof shoes and rain gear, rain gloves, which work best when wet, and an extra towel to keep everything else dry. But the most important thing you should bring to the first tee is a positive attitude. I found some of my most memorable rounds have been played in the rain. Overcoming the conditions to enjoy yourself while possibly shooting a good score makes for a great day. And remember, golf is a game, even in the rain. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and 0 down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Nate Littlefield. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. Your Sacramento Kings are making their debut into the NBA in-season tournament tonight. When the court is gray, it's going to be a good day. I don't know how many more times I'm going to say that. Today. They take on the 5-3 OKC Thunder, who have won their last two. OKC is favored by 1.5 with Fox and Trey Lyles still out. We'll have all your audio bliss right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night at 5:30 p.m., pregame at 6:30, tip-off with the G-Man at 7. Don't forget, all guests are brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Your Sac State Hornets are home this Saturday for a 2 p.m. kickoff against the Cal Poly Mustangs. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Those are the headlines. Now we get to the second hour of Stiles and Watkins.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. on this beautiful, beautiful Friday. Hope everybody gets to enjoy their weekend and enjoys their Friday. If it's a payday Friday for you, shout out, enjoy yourself. As we have Nate Littlefield doing the Johnny Manziel in the background. That tracks. That checks out for you, Nate. So good for you. Some money sign.
That checks out for
Excuse me?
What does that mean? I don't like Johnny Manziel.
You did back in the day. We all did.
I definitely did.
We all did.
I am not too proud to admit.
I'll never forget my dad, who doesn't really follow football, just saying, because the same draft as Derek Carr, and the Raiders drafted Derek Carr and not Johnny.
Yeah.
The Raiders are they're gonna regret that, man.
Dallas should have
regret that.
Dallas really should have.
They should have.
I mean, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome.
But it would have been a glorious disaster.
Yeah, as we break down all things Niners and Brock Purdy. Larry Krueger coming in at 1 p.m. to talk some Niners and a little bit of Giants as well. And between 11 and 1, we got all the Kings talk that you can handle, getting you ready for their first in-season tournament game. The court looks great.
It does.
The jerseys look great. Hopefully they play great, because I don't like what I'm seeing from Kings fans. It doesn't seem, you got to will the beam sometimes. You know what? I thought a couple days ago Kings fans willed the beam. Sometimes you got to will the beam, and I don't see any willing of the beam today. I see people saying, oh my goodness, Chet Holmgren's coming to town. Josh Giddey's coming to town. Shea Gilgeous is coming to town. What are we going to do without De'Aaron? No.
Yeah.
All right. What do you have to lose? Okay. Besides
really
lose again.
Yeah.
All right.
And that ain't new.
How many times have the Kings been underdogs this season?
Like Vegas underdogs?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Probably only the game in
probably the Warrior game.
Yeah,
if not both of them.
In SF. Maybe both. I don't think they were underdogs
Yeah.
against the Lakers. So this is an opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This is an opportunity.
For sure.
I don't, I'm trying here. And don't, there's going to be a Friday night beam.
I hope so. I really hope so. I can't realistically convince myself of it yet until it's going to be one of those things where I have to see it.
There has to be a masterclass.
It's got to be.
Somebody has to drop 25.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Besides Malik Monk.
And OKC is going to have to play their part too. Like, definitely. Like, OKC is going to have an unspectacular game for sure. Like, I mean, they don't have to have the worst game they've played all year, but, they're going to have to play into it. They're going to have to miss some shots for sure, because if they're going to give the Kings an A game, the Kings don't have an A game right now.
What happened to the depth? What happened to the depth?
That's what I'm wondering. That's what we're all wondering. What happened to the depth? What happened? Because they're still there. They're just not. They're not producing like depth. I mean, the depth is Keon Ellis and Kessler Edwards at this point. The depth is the fact that we had an even deeper, we had more to go to when the guys that were supposed to play didn't. And we had a full, full enough or enough rotation pieces to kind of plug in and maybe give a different look to those guys. But right now, the Duartes of the world, the Sasha Vezenkovs of the world, all those guys, they aren't producing because we could definitely use them on a night like tonight for sure. And that can definitely be a recipe for the Kings' success tonight for sure, is if they just get consistent, or I shouldn't say consistent, but if they can get average performances from just about everybody, this can definitely be another version of a team win, which I think we saw the other night. And I think that's going to have to be how they win when De'Aaron's not out there, is by having, a lot of bench guys reach near double figures and having all of your starters, whether that be Keon Ellis or Davion Mitchell, they're going to have to be in the 10 to 15 and you're probably going to need a 20-point score sprinkled here and there as well. It's the only way the Kings can really do it is if they do it as a collective unit.
Yeah, I think that you need somebody to show up in a big way that has not yet this season. Yeah. So that would mean that you still need Malik to do his thing. Yep. But I'm looking at you, Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter. Absolutely. I'm sorry, 13 points. You're moving in the right direction, but we need something else. Yeah. And I guess even though Harrison did show up in the big way first game, I would put Harrison in that category as well. Definitely. Somebody that has not popped lately needs to show up if they are going to pull this off. And again, Vegas, it depends on who you look at, but we're seeing 1.5 underdogs. We're also seeing 2.5 underdogs at home.
Crazy.
In the in-season tournament.
And this is another narrative opportunity for Keegan as well, as he's going against Jalen Williams, who was first-team All-Rookie last year as well. Right. It's an opportunity. These are probably the two best small forwards from that class, I should say. Can Keegan, this would be a great time to kind of get it going, because Jalen Williams he's made a leap this year. I've in the few OKC games I've watched, I also do have him, full disclosure, on one of my fantasy basketball teams as well. He's been really solid for them, and he is the ultimate. Now we talk about Harrison Barnes as kind of the jack of all, master of none. Jalen Williams does it, but is productive with it every night, where he's going to give you 15, 8, and 6 every single night, and play defense as well and bring a physical presence. So I would love for Keegan to, again, kind of look at this as an opportunity to. Now, it might not make the opening segment of Sports Center or anything like that, but this is an opportunity to show, like, I'm at least, on the same developmental track as this guy who was taken in the same draft as me.
A couple days ago, you did a top 25 under 25.
Yes.
Where was that Jalen Williams?
Let me look that up.
Because they have two Jalen Williams on the team, by the way.
Yes. There's J Dub.
One's from Arkansas.
And J Will, which is not helpful for people who don't watch the team.
What do you want him to do?
I don't know. Tall Jalen Williams and guard Jalen Williams. Make it easier for us all. Let me find this 25 under 25.
I think a lot of people do it on the broadcast by the school.
Yes, like Santa Clara, one's Santa Clara, and
one's
I think Arkansas. Yeah, the taller one is Arkansas.
Which is funny because they're both the same similar colors as well.
Yes,
so
they're both. Either. I think they're both red and white, right?
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still struggling to find.
No. I put you on the spot here. Yeah, and you just got to take it personally.
Absolutely.
Definitely take it personally. And I think the Kings will. Will it be enough to actually win the basketball game? I don't know. So we'll pocket that, because we do want to finish talking about the QBs. Yes. And CBS put out something 2 days ago ranking the QBs, and Chris made a good point. They do have blurbs, and they do have blurbs about why people are where they are, why quarterbacks are where they are. So here is the blurb on Brock Purdy. 3 straight games with critical late game giveaways have the skeptics out in full force. But with the reinforced supporting cast, Purdy is poised to settle down a bit. He's still been one of the NFL's most efficient starters for Kyle Shanahan. And Brock Purdy has not moved from last week. He was number 9 last week. Whereas
they had a bye, so
they had a bye. Right?
At least he didn't. You
can't throw a pick in a bye. You can't throw a pick while you're farming in Iowa, right? Unless he had some trouble farming the corn in Iowa. And number 10, for example, Justin Herbert is down 4 spots. He was number 6 last week. So this thing does move a lot, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Dak Prescott, number 8. Complain about the Cowboys' inability to get over the finish line in big games, but don't pin the primary blame on Dak. The steady, savvy veteran is reading the field very well, 70% completion, and his toughness nearly upset the Eagles. Really? Really?
Yeah.
That was
all on
Dak. Is this football or horseshoes?
It was all on Dak.
What are we talking about?
His toughness lost them the game. He didn't dive for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Fair enough. And we'll just read the CJ Stroud one because that was a little bit of a hot topic.
Yeah, that's the biggest jump, has to be.
We've gone beyond Offensive Rookie of the Year now. Let's start discussing MVP.
Sheesh. Oh, my gosh.
At 22, the rookie is slinging it to every level with both precision and authority. With 14 TDs versus just 1 pick, he single-handedly made Houston relevant. He is up 9. He was ranked 13th last week, and now he's number 4. And here you go with Jalen Hurts, a bonus for you. Speaking of MVP, Hurts is right back in the mix. Even with some reckless streaks early in the year, he's up to 22 total touchdowns for the NFL's best team. Virtually unstoppable on the Eagles' notorious push play, the guy is never phased, whether trailing late or battling through a battered knee, and that composure rubs off on the rest of the club. He is up 2 spots. He was 4th last week.
Yeah, I mean, that's about sounds all right to me.
So Jalen gets moved up because Jalen gets moved up
too high, but I understand the logic. I think he's in the like if we're doing MVP talk right now, it's probably either him or Lamar. I mean, to the point. I mean, it seems
CJ
crazy looking at the QB power rankings. It kind of does seem right because if you were to do the MVP at the half point of the season, like I think those are probably the 2 names that stick out the most. I'd probably give Lamar the slight edge because of how he's played the last couple of weeks, but Jalen Hurts, we can't forget Philly. It hasn't looked pretty, but they're still 8-1.
Yeah,
still 8-1, and a lot of the time it is quarterback on the best team gets the MVP.
That's normally how it goes down. Got to get to a break. When we get back, a little bit more Niners for now, and then we are starting at 11:30 our Kings talk. And the best question to ask here is: are you worried about De'Aaron Fox? Can you get a W without him? But are you worried about him not being on the court? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Looking to snap their 3-game losing streak. The San Francisco 49ers are back in action this Sunday on Sactown Sports.
McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
It's the 49ers and Jaguars from Jacksonville.
Sunday morning at 10 on your home of the 49ers, Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. I gotta apologize to my guy Chris here. I threw the Jalen Williams top 25 under 25. I don't know why I thought Chris we just have that memorized, right? Like, well, I thought you had it locked down like you're Chris and Keegan because you were very confident yesterday. So I've sent Chris on a national treasure quest to find this thing. And I'm telling Chris, we will find. It's not a big deal.
No, it's a big deal.
But now he is so invested in this, and it's my fault.
This is honestly a bigger.
You know what? I just remembered he was 12.
Problem.
He was 12th.
Let's run with it.
No,
sure.
he was 12th.
The bigger point is he's ahead of Keegan.
The biggest point is that he is ahead of Keegan.
Significantly.
And Keegan, you should take that personally.
Yes.
Stiles
Put it on his locker.
Yes, exactly. You know what's funny about that? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. What's funny about that is that Keegan, we know guys where we see the stories. Do you see that Tom Brady? He was on a panel somewhere and I didn't have any friends. I just wanted to destroy him, right? They're just guys that aren't like that.
Thing. Yeah.
And Keegan is not like that. If you put I felt like if you put Jalen Williams being above him in some random top 25, under 25, he would just look at you and say, "What's up, Vancouver?"
Who is
right?
this?
Who is
Who put this here?
Who put this here? Why? It just right. Okay. He's just gonna grab his lunch pail and go to work.
Show up, yeah. What do we think's in that lunch pail? Probably like fruit roll-ups, fruit by the foot.
I'm going. I think
big apple slices guy probably.
I think he goes bologna.
Just bologna, not a bologna sandwich.
Well, bologna and American cheese.
I can see it. Yeah,
crust
cut off. The crust cut off.
I'm
definitely.
I think I'm in. Sure. And Frito-Lay's chips, but original.
Yes, the original.
Yeah. Original, for sure. As we break down things, Niners and Kings, and I had a question because we're really just trying to figure out what to do with Brock Purdy. And this is my question to you, Nate. This is my question to you, Chris, and to the audience, 916-339-1140. The question is, you have to swap. You can't just have one guy on the bench, right? You can take any quarterback that was drafted in this most recent draft. So Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, whoever it is. Anthony Richardson.
Mayo Boy,
he's not a rookie, is he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Mayo Boy's a rookie?
Yeah.
Why did I think
Will Levis, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's so disgusting, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he's worn on you.
I just
feel
like
I've
we've been hearing this for so long. Mayo Boy.
Yeah.
And, the girlfriend, and they broke up, and now she's a famous model now.
What's up with that?
I think it was just that. People saw her on draft night, and she became famous, and they broke up, and she's doing very well for herself now.
Shout out CD Lamb on draft night.
Shout out CD Lamb. I got 2 phones, Kevin Gates. So there you go. So, Mayo Man. You can take Mayo Man as well. Or you can take somebody coming up, Caleb Williams or Drake May. You are John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. You have to remove Brock Purdy from the situation. You have to start this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you keep Brock Purdy, or do you take a quarterback from this past draft or this upcoming draft?
Well,
what do you do?
I don't think you take a rookie no matter what. I don't think you take Drake May or
Brock's only in his second year.
I know, but I it's too risky. I think the answer, if you do take a guy, is going to be CJ Stroud.
What would you do?
Personal preference. What would you do?
Personal preference
doesn't have to make the most sense. It could just be for fun.
Then I'm keeping Brock. I think that's the safe answer. Personal preference.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, no.
But
my answer, go ahead.
But I think the right answer might be CJ Stroud.
But you're keeping Brock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nate Littlefield is keeping Brock.
Chris?
Okay. Me. I'm going Anthony Richardson. I think that's what he wanted from Trey Lance. He wanted somebody who could run the ball. He wanted somebody who could be like, from what I understand, didn't Josh Allen open up Kyle Shanahan's mind? Wasn't that the big thing that he saw Josh Allen?
I thought it was Mahomes.
And he was like,
I thought it was Mahomes.
I mean, it's whatever, same stuff. I mean, he's running the ball. He's huge. Of course, we found that, Anthony Richardson could not finish a football game healthy, which
but that's what I'm saying.
Might be he does love
favorite.
That is true.
That's what I thought the point you're going to make is. He needs a quarterback that can't play a whole season.
So that then he can actually get in Sam Darnold.
Right, and have lower expectations and then exceed those expectations. And we can all say Kyle Shanahan's a genius.
And we can keep talking about Kirk Cousins coming to the Niners.
Right.
Great stuff. How Tom Brady could have came. All the
Right.
Awesome.
Actually, yeah.
Right.
I'm going to go Anthony. I still believe Anthony Richardson just from a potential, like a tools perspective. And from what we've seen from him. Well, I mean, he's injured right now.
No, I'm saying, but next season.
I'm taking him. I'm taking Anthony Richardson. I really believe in the tools that I saw last year or this year from Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not see that one coming.
And you get it all because CJ is not really much of a runner. He can move, much like Brock can. Hey, man, don't get me started about Brock's 10-yard split.
10-yard split.
Come on.
Look, Brock is a mini Mahomes, but his 10-yard split is as fast as Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
So basically, he's the best quarterback we've ever seen.
Basically.
Yeah.
Patrick Jackson.
So, Alan, you're going with Mailman?
I gotta go Mailman.
It's like Karl Malone calling him the mailman. The mailman.
I honestly, I'm stuck between Caleb and CJ Stroud.
A rookie is wild to me. Just to take a risk like that?
It's not a risk. I mean, he's going to be like the first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but it's like, I mean, we're talking about Brock Purdy, who was Mr. Irrelevant or, maybe a 5th round draft talent or something like that. Like just in terms of the potential of what he could be, it just so much exceeds what Brock is.
How many of the elite quarterbacks are like top 3 picks? Mahomes isn't. Lamar Jackson isn't.
That's a good point.
That's a great
and I think that they're still having flashbacks from Trey Lance. So I don't think that they would. I'm just saying what I would be stuck on, but ultimately I'd probably take CJ Stroud.
Okay, not the crybaby.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Wow.
I've cried before.
That's a lot.
That's poor from you.
Yeah, but
it's not.
I would definitely take. I'm taking.
I don't like it.
That's the best kind of laugh.
I will take CJ Stroud and Brock Purdy. Thank you for everything you've done.
Yeah,
for this.
appreciate your services.
Yeah, goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye now.
I think, it's just for me, like, yes, Brock, it's possibly a conversation of the evil against the evil that you possibly don't, kind of like what Nate was saying. Like, there is a chance that, you take Drake May or Caleb Williams and, they aren't what everyone's hoping they can be. But at the same time, like, Brock has not done anything spectacular enough to where it's like, I believe that his ceiling is still that of those other guys. If that makes sense.
Yeah. The Anthony Richardson one, you definitely threw me for a loop
crazy,
with that.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's definitely.
So you want him on the Vikings?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
so you're Anthony Richardson.
You want Sam Darnold to play for the Niners? That's what you're saying.
That's kind of
you want
what
Anthony Richardson.
To,
he's not been the most healthy guy.
He is not.
That is a Shanahan trait, though. 100%.
Yeah,
and that also brings up a good point because people had said about Brock's size and. Oh, how healthy is he going to be? He has the UCL and his ribs were messed up, even though they won that game in Seattle last season. And you have Bryce Young and you can't do the QB sneak with him. And then you have Anthony Richardson, who's supposed to be this Greek god of a human.
Cam Jackson is what he called himself.
Yeah.
He's like, I got the body of Cam Newton
Jackson.
and I can run like Lamar Jackson.
And he can't stay healthy either.
No.
So when it comes to football, I'm sure body types matter, but is it a question of how much? I mean, does it matter when it comes to muscle, right? Because that's what really put him over the edge. He's not incredibly taller than other QBs,
no, I think he's
right?
Like 6'4", 6'5".
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, tall, but he's
tall, but right.
Yeah.
So the thickness and the muscle and all that, does it actually matter?
I think it's more in the sense of like, I mean, if I try and throw Carmichael Dave down, it's going to be a lot harder to like inflict pain on him than like I could probably, lift you up and slam you down. I mean, I'm just saying size difference wise, I just mean like Dave is like 6'3", he's
Now I got to get back on the muscle milk.
How much do you think he weighs, Chris?
No, we're not doing this. That's a setup. That, my friends, is not a good person.
I'm just curious.
That is a setup. If I've ever, Nate is unhinged. Someone turn Nate's mic off.
It's a Friday.
This, I think Nate, he did this last Friday too. Nate on Fridays, man.
No.
Something else. Yeah, no.
Wasabi Fridays, baby.
No, we're not doing Wasabi Fridays at all.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
I have a very unfair question that when you brought up Brock's size, unfortunately, the first thing my mind went to, I'm going to send a shot across the bow here. Do you think Brock's bigger than Davion Mitchell? Do you think they're the same size?
Yes. Davion's like 5'10" and a half, isn't he? Or 5'11"?
Yeah, I don't know if Davion is a true 6.
I bet they would look eye to eye. Brock might even be
What do you think about me and Brock?
I bet Brock's taller.
Yeah, Brock's definitely taller.
I would hope so. So.
Because I'm 6. I'm 6.
I've heard no.
So?
This is how you know. No. I've heard no rumblings of Brock being under 6. And if they're going to be rumblings, I mean, they measure these guys with no shoes on, right? Every millimeter. And I've heard no rumblings. We heard rumblings with Russell Wilson,
Kyler
keeps getting smaller by the minute, right? Drew Brees. I've heard no rumblings of Brock's height. I think it's just been about how slight he is.
Yeah, size.
We've definitely seen some tip balls though at the line.
For sure.
Yes.
He's definitely not. Yeah. He's definitely smaller.
Yeah.
How tall's Baker?
He's probably around Brock's size, if I had to guess.
Right. But Baker, we heard rumblings.
Yeah.
Baker, we heard you might be Zonton. You might be in the 5s. Right? Brock, I haven't heard about Brock being in the 5s.
Yeah, last time I heard Russell Wilson's 5'2", but I don't know.
Okay. Stiles and Watkins, when we get back, it's time. It's King's time. It's Beam time. You've waited long enough. Nate's going to be in timeout when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox. The breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean. And there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
I'm a Vietnam veteran.
I always knew that I was going to join the military.
My grandfather pulled out his own military uniform and actually let me put it on.
The greatest thing you could ever do in your life is to change and impact the world around you.
Anybody that has ever served in the military has that sense of serving others.
I wanted to keep the people of the United States safe.
Being a veteran comes with a responsibility.
My role is being a protector.
We're born a proud country. We need to keep it that way. Boot Barn.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
For 35 years, TruckSmart has been your local leader in truck accessories. Find racks, toolboxes, and lighting for your work truck, and trailer hitches, side steps, and bed covers for recreation. They have shells for work or play, and offer Rhino lining, the best bed protection in the business. You like overlanding? TruckSmart has rooftop tents, recovery gear, and heavy-duty bumpers. Trust your ride to their skilled installers and expert sales staff at the Rockland and Auburn locations. TruckSmart. Your truck's gonna love them. TruckSmart.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm a Littlefield, these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Your Sacramento Kings make their debut into the NBA in-season tournament tonight. They take on the 5-3 OKC Thunder, who have won their last two. OKC is favored by 1.5 points, 2.5 points, depends where you look, but De'Aaron Fox and Trey Lyles are still out no matter where you look. And we'll have all your audio bliss right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night at 5:30, pregame with Henry Turner and Jason Ross at 6:30, tip-off with G-Man at 7. Don't forget, all guests and all callers are brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are the headlines. Now we get back to Stiles and Watkins.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports on a Friday fun day, also Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans out there. Thank you for your service as we take you up to 2 p.m. and get ready, get set. We're going to get back into some Niners talk at 1 o'clock when we are joined by Larry Krueger. Larry Krueger, one of the, I would say, the biggest Niner YouTube platforms that there is right now. We might even ask Larry about some tips about how to grow your YouTube platform because Larry has really done it. And we're going to hear from him, also a host over at 95.7 The Game. So we will talk to Larry about all things Niners and also a little bit of Giants. But now it is time to break down Thunder versus your Sacramento Kings at home in the in-season tournament. First game for the Kings in their crispy new City Edition jerseys on that new floor. A lot of people were saying that these different floors have been slipperier, so that's something to keep an eye on. I don't know. People
Maybe
are
it's
making
the paint or something.
People are making excuses. We'll see. We'll see because Chris and I will be in the building. If you see us, say hello. Don't be shy.
I'll do a grip test.
That's right. Well, Chris actually is going to shoot and warm up.
I will not.
Remember when Drake did that and he airballed with Kentucky?
Yes.
That was so good.
Great.
That was so good.
I love the picture of him in the meeting room, like full tracksuited out. And it's just like Trey Lyles, Devin Booker sitting around him, and then it's just Drake. Like,
what are you learning, Drake? What are you learning?
Nothing.
And also, maybe it's just because he's too old now, but that just ended. right? Like Calipari, that he's just not
that
around.
relationship's not the same anymore.
That relationship is nothing.
Kentucky stopped being,
right.
They stopped being cool. Really,
and nothing was the same.
Yeah.
Nothing was the same. Stiles and Watkins ready to talk some Kings with you, and we have a poll up on the YouTube chat. Do you like the Kings in-season court? If you haven't seen a picture, go ahead and find it. Very easy to find. I know you like the jersey, so we don't have to ask about that. Get you some new swag as well, and you can hear the game here, of course, as you can. All games on the flagship.
Come on.
Sactown Sports. All right. De'Aaron Fox isn't playing. And I approached Chris in the parking lot. I'm a morning person, right? And Chris and I still getting to know each other. 12th official show, and I come in hot in the mornings. Chris knows this, and I come in on Fox not playing. And Chris looks at me. He says, "I got something for you and people like you." Yep. Chris wants to talk about the fact that De'Aaron Fox isn't playing, and I just want to sit here as I did with their more victory. Soliloquy, and I just want to listen. What do you have to say about De'Aaron Fox not playing?
It's just sometimes we get like this in sports in general, and I just want to make note of it that when De'Aaron Fox first got injured with the ankle injury, what was that, 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 Fridays ago, right? Yeah, against the Lakers. When we came back on Monday, we said, and I think everybody pretty much shared the sentiment of, look, it's an ankle injury. It's early in the season. Let him get healthy, rest it out. It's a lot better for him to miss games early in the year than have him come back too soon and have this linger or reoccur in the middle of the season, and it becomes snowballs into a bigger thing. Well, then the Kings lose 3 straight, and then all of a sudden, forget about De'Aaron Fox's health, forget about longevity, forget about the looking at the rest of the season. Right. He needs to come back today. He needs to come back yesterday. Yeah. Okay. It's just. We can't get lost in the season. You can't get lost in the individual games. You still have to keep you have to keep the bird's eye view of what you're trying to accomplish this year, and you can't accomplish anything, as we've quickly learned, without De'Aaron Fox. And so the important thing is that De'Aaron's there for the rest of the 70 plus games. Right. And it's okay if we look back and it's like, he only missed 4 games.
Yeah.
He's only going to miss 4 to 5 games here. It's not that big of a deal. Of course, in this moment in time, it feels drastic. It feels like this is the thing that we have to do to get this, to even have a hope of having a future. We need to get it right now. That's not the case. We can't lose focus and lose sight of what's actually important, and that's De'Aaron Fox being at his 100% health. And if he's not playing in these games, it's definitely because he's not 100% healthy.
Yeah.
He definitely wants to be out there. Frankie reposted something yesterday about De'Aaron last week saying, he feels like his ankle's at like a 4 right now. And if he could make the decision, he would play. I think Mike Brown or JaVale had said, we'll put it like this. If this were a playoff game or game 82, he'd probably be out there, which I hate. I always hate hearing that. But I think that we can't lose sight of what's important, and what's important is De'Aaron Fox being healthy for the rest of the season. And if it means we might not, Whitey Gleason's prediction of Kings beating the Atlanta Hawks in the in-season tournament final doesn't come true, I think we're going to have to live with that and be okay, because the real goal is to make the playoffs and make noise in the playoffs. So yes, it would be great if De'Aaron could play in this game tonight, but if he's not playing, which he is not, that clearly means he's not at full health, and that's what's first and foremost most important. So I just want to say, it sucks. It's obviously not great. We all want De'Aaron back. De'Aaron wants to be back.
Yeah.
But if he's not healthy, it's not worth it. It's just not, because again, there is no future without De'Aaron Fox.
Chillax, everybody. And that is what is the most important part of this. Watching the Kings without De'Aaron is proving why you can't rush back De'Aaron.
Exactly.
Right? So people are saying, no, he's got to come back because of how bad they look, when in reality it's, no, he can't rush back because of how bad they look.
Exactly.
Because look at how important he is to this team right now.
Yeah.
So you have to just hold the L. Hopefully it's not too many more, right? You already got 3, and Hopefully you don't get a 4 today, right? Going up against the Thunder. So, it's a young team. The Kings are still a bit older than the Thunder. Maybe you can find a way to will yourself to a victory. But yeah, watching the Kings everybody watches the Kings thinking De'Aaron needs to come back as quickly as possible. When in reality, you should be watching the Kings thinking, come back when you're good and ready, because we can't do this again. Yeah, we cannot do this again. So get as right as you need to be so that we don't have to deal with this.
There will be no more rest. There will be no, unless injury happens again, knock on every piece of wood in your building. The Kings, De'Aaron Fox will not be load managing at all this season. Not once. There will not be a single time where De'Aaron Fox has to rest because it's very clear that they need him every single night that he's even remotely healthy.
Stiles Watkins, got to get to a break. The question is the dependency that the Kings have on the Kings, on De'Aaron Fox. Is it more than other contenders? Or are we overblowing it a little bit? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Friday night at the Golden One Center, it's the Kings' first ever in-season tournament game.
Sabonis heels at the arc. Now to Keegan Murray on a run by. He shoots for three. He's got the triple. Keegan Murray from downtown.
The Oklahoma City Thunder are in town to face the Sacramento Kings for Friday Night Hoops.
The quest for the cup begins Friday on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone for the life of your garden. Despite being on their bye week, the 49ers had a good Week 9 with all other NFC West teams losing. The Red and Gold sit at 5-3 currently, regaining a hold of the top spot in the division with Seattle's loss to Baltimore. The 49ers will look to rally in Week 10, heading to Jacksonville for a road clash with the AFC South leaders. And after adding former number 2 overall pick Chase Young at the trade deadline, the squad feels rejuvenated to make a run into 2024.
With over 100 years as a family-owned company, EB Stone's learned a few things about making plants grow. Start a healthy family hobby with indoor planting with EB Stone's Edna's Best indoor and outdoor potting soil to help your little plants grow into the perfect indoor plant for the kids and family to enjoy. EB Stone's indoor and outdoor potting soil is perfectly blended with all the important ingredients you need to create that perfect indoor and outdoor plant or garden. EB Stone for the life of your garden. Visit ebstone.org for more gardening tips, products, and locations near you.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat. Bring out all the flavors of the holidays with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill is turning me into a pro. Napoleon Grills has features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, complete with a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills. Now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories for the holidays.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple of people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Guys, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making you this guarantee. We will improve the medical condition of your ED or low T, or we'll give you your money back. Book today. Call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being with us on this Friday. Hopefully it's a payday Friday for you. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. Thank you for your service as we break down all things Kings, taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. A little later in the show, 1 p.m., we will be joined by Larry Krueger to talk Niners and a little bit of Giants as well. And Chris is letting everybody know it's time to chill out when it comes to De'Aaron Fox, which is all fine and good. But the question becomes the dependence that we're seeing the Kings have on De'Aaron Fox.
For sure.
Would you say that it's more than other teams have on their stars? Because people will say, hey, Kings haven't looked good, but what would the Nuggets look like without Jokic? What would the Warriors look like without Steph? What would well, the Lakers, they often see themselves without AD, but they also have LeBron James, so whoever you want to pick there, and so on and so forth. So do you think the Kings are more dependent on De'Aaron Fox than other teams are on other teams?
No, I wouldn't say so. And maybe this is still me holding on to this pre-injury thought process of like, I feel like the Kings have enough talent to be able to survive better than say a Memphis without John Morant, clearly. But I mean, that's becoming tougher and tougher to argue by the night for sure, because the level of reliance we're seeing on De'Aaron makes me think of the level of reliance that the Warriors had last year on Steph, where we saw it up close and personal in that playoff series, like Steph Curry scoring near 30 or over 30 in every game that series was crucial to them winning those games. They really didn't have anybody else besides Andrew Wiggins who could get near 20. And they needed Steph's scoring production to kind of give them a chance to win those ball games. And it feels a little similar with the Kings, where, again, I think yesterday we were talking about, again, bring it back to the Warriors, like the Warriors plus minuses with Steph on the floor versus him off the floor were pretty much the story of last year for them, where, when Steph's out there, they're killing it. They're killing teams by 15 points. But once he was off, they didn't have anywhere to go and really struggled to put points up. And I think the Kings are seeing a similar thing this year where, De'Aaron's out there. It's no problem. They look great, but it's the non-Fox minutes that are that are killing them. And that's where, Malik Monk ideally would come into hand, but he's obviously had to elevate where he's at without De'Aaron. So nobody's really filling the Malik Monk role kind of right now, where when the star's not out there, who's the guy who's keeping the ship from sinking? And that would typically be Malik. But again, with Malik doing the De'Aaron thing now, nobody's doing the Malik thing.
Nobody on the Kings, right, in terms of the word depth that we've just used here at nauseum, nobody on the Kings besides, and I know Harrison Barnes dropped the 33, but I don't really know what to do with that. I think
we've erased that.
I don't really know what to do with that, because
at this point,
there's no other 20-burger on the team right now to win a basketball game in the NBA, unless you're just got the best dispersed scoring ever, or you're playing a very bad team, and I'm going to unless you're playing the Blazers without half of the guys on their roster, typically you're going to need at least two guys to sniff 20.
Yeah.
Right? You had Malik and Sabonis. Sabonis. So you got there and you had to go to overtime, right? It's that you're talking about, right? So Sabonis is your number one right now.
Yeah.
Malik is your number two. They're just together, right? That number three person, that number three scorer that has to sniff 20, right? Especially against good teams. So you have Herter, who is low teens.
Capable, but
Keegan, who is barely getting the teens. Harrison barely getting the teens. And I guess if they all do, then you have a shot.
Yeah.
But
that's the example I was trying to throw out earlier.
Right.
But again, that's getting everybody to be on the same page on the same night.
Yeah.
And what are the odds of that? I mean, of course, you're a lot more likely to have two or three guys have an off night and maybe everybody else can have it. But to your point, I don't know if the Kings can even afford that.
No. So that is ultimately the question. And if you're Mike Brown, you're thinking, okay, I don't know. One of these days, somebody might pop for me.
They have to.
You have to. Keegan at some point, Kevin Herter continue to move in that direction. And that's the thing. I don't think it's really fair to expect Kevin Herter to all of a sudden be a guy that, hey, we're going to get 20 from Kevin Herter.
Not every night,
Not every night, but I guess once in a while would be nice.
Yeah, for sure. I still think that he's capable of it. It hasn't happened yet. Like, we're just now starting to see Kevin knock down his perimeter shot. And like last year, his perimeter shot, when it was falling, would also set up, he'd pump and drive, and he had a pretty decent floater game later in the year. And So I think he's capable of doing it. We just haven't seen. I mean, the Kings, again, they had 6 or 7, I think it was 7 guys last year finish a game with over 30 points. They have guys who are capable of filling it up. It just, this year, for whatever reason, they haven't been able to do it. And last year, again, with the variance of people who are able to score, it was, okay, yeah, maybe Kevin doesn't have it tonight, but you know who does? Malik Monk and Keegan. And we get a random Terrence Davis game as well.
Right.
And we just haven't gotten that at all. I mean, I heard Matt Barnes talk about it. I think it was on with Whitey and Draper, where he said, typically the thing that's been abnormal about the Kings is you'll have one of your guys, maybe 2, go into a shooting slump, but it's the entire team right now that's in a shooting slump or is getting out of a shooting slump or it's just in general not playing well. That's abnormal. That's like, and that is, again, what makes me believe, and I know I can sound like an idiot until it comes true, but I do truly believe that the Kings are playing so poorly that at some point for a stretch of time, they're just going to be on fire. Because I truly believe they are not this team. They're just not, they're not executing how they're capable of executing. And once they get to the level of even just being who they are, not even exceeding the guys that they can be, I just think it's going to look completely night and day, and everything is going to look so much easier. I mean, how much better did the Kings look against the Blazers just because the shots were falling than they ever did in those 2 games against Houston? I don't think there was that big of a difference. Definitely not in terms of, gotta have itness. They had to have that second Houston game, and we saw them lay flat. So I think making shots, as simple as it sounds, making shots goes a really far way in just making the game easier for the Kings.
Yeah, and as we kind of play with the idea of, okay, now Malik is in the De'Aaron Fox role, Sabonis is doing his thing as per usual. We need that third guy. Maybe it's not even about that, right? Because maybe it's not about Kevin Huerter giving you a 20 burger, and maybe it's more about Kevin Huerter gave you 13, right? Can you get it to 15, 17, and then Keegan Murray comes through and gives you 15, 17? That seems more realistic. Yeah. And he's taking enough shots to do it. They're just not falling. So that seems more realistic than expecting a Kevin Huerter masterclass and he drops 25, which I hope comes today. Yeah. But in case it doesn't, it's more realistic for these guys to just all play a little bit better. If you all play a little bit better and Malik continues to do what he's doing and Sabonis continues to earn his paycheck and do what he's doing, we're good.
Yeah.
We're solid. Yeah. Is it good enough to beat a Thunder team tonight who's got bad intentions?
Right.
I don't know, but I do know that you can't really play much worse.
Yeah.
And we've seen Keegan miss every 3, and now we've seen him only make 1. So in my mind, the next thing that's coming is maybe he'll make 2.
Yeah,
right.
Multiple.
I mean, maybe he'll make multiple. We've seen this before.
For sure.
Shooters shoot, and guys that you got to believe in your work. And I do think, in a weird way, to your point, could it be good that everybody's slumping at one time? And so much of this was about Kevin Huerter because it was rolled over from the playoffs.
Exactly.
Then it started to turn into, okay, Kevin, he's going through it. Keegan, first game, looks okay. Yeah. Second game, okay, Keegan, we're trying to hear the Keegan, we're trying to hear that. Third game, fourth game, okay, Keegan is in a mini slump here, right? I don't know if we call it sophomore slump yet, but Keegan is not right. So maybe there's a part of this where there's some camaraderie to say, we're all struggling.
Yeah.
We trust our work. We trust what we're doing. We're going to get out of this. We're going to get out of this. And Mike Brown saying, we're going to get out of this. We're going to get out of this. Maybe it's not the worst thing in the world versus one guy being incredibly important and just being on an island out there. Because that's how we were in there post-game press conference, Kevin Huerter, and I believe it was against the Warriors where he had the donut. I don't think he scored a point because that was a home opener. And if he felt like he was on an island, right? Because when you put up a donut and you don't even have a point, let alone 3-pointers,
you just feel like you didn't contribute at all.
At all.
Yeah,
I mean,
you feel bad.
The Tony Snell. It was the Tony Snell.
It
was the Tony Snell. Now he had assists and rebounds, so it wasn't the Tony Snell. But that makes you feel some type of way. So maybe they can find something and try to turn this negative into a positive to say, we're together. If we're all going to stink, we're going to stink together, and hopefully you climb out one day. Kevin Huerter, You've climbed out here a couple days ago. Keegan, now you climb out, right? These guys start rising from the ashes because that's all you can really hope for at this point.
Yeah, I hate to say it, and I can already picture people getting ready to call us up right now and yell at me for saying it, but it does feel like tonight we're in prime territory for another moral victory. Where because I truly do think with everything you just laid out there, like I do agree that we might have to, and I'm not, obviously I would love an actual victory, but with where it's just more a state of where the Kings are at this exact time.
Mm-hmm.
If people play well and the Kings don't get the result and it feels like we're moving further out of that deep hole we were in Houston, it feels like that's progress towards where we're trying to get going. And again, I think that's more of an indication of where this Kings team is at right now, which is not a good place, which is, you're hoping to just have people play well and you'll take that and move on to the next game. As long as they're not regressing back to the team they were in Houston. And, you could definitely argue that the performance against Portland wasn't anything that's necessarily progressive, but it's better than what it was in Houston. So I kind of feel like as long as they're moving towards being better, I kind of have to take that as some form of a win after tonight's game, if it happens.
Yeah.
Like if Keegan, like you're saying, knocks down 3 threes and Kevin knocks down a couple threes.
We're moving in the right direction.
We're moving in the right direction. At least they're getting comfortable. And it's to the point where we're just hoping for competitive. And I think that's I really think that's
the Thunder.
You're saying it yourself. Like
they're
I really
5-3.
I think that it has nothing to do with anybody else.
Okay.
We were hoping for competitive against the Blazers. We were hoping for more than competitive against the Blazers, but it got to that point in Houston where when you're getting blown out the way you were, can you just make it close? Can you show some fight? Again, can you feel like we're moving towards the direction of being where we want to be? Because it's definitely would we rather be in a place where the Kings get blown out again and we can use the excuse of De'Aaron isn't out there and we can continue to talk about that?
No, so you're saying big picture is more important than the actual result tonight.
Okay. Possibly.
916-339-1140. How confident are you in the Kings right now? And how confident are you in the Kings tonight? We will give our thoughts, and we want to hear yours. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Looking to snap their 3-game losing streak. The San Francisco 49ers are back in action this Sunday on Sactown Sports.
McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
It's the 49ers and Jaguars from Jacksonville.
Sunday morning at 10 on your home of the 49ers, Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK-AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Nate Littlefield. These are Sactown Sports headlines. Your Sacramento Kings make their debut into the NBA in-season tournament tonight. They take on the 5-3 OKC Thunder, who have won their last two. OKC is favored by 1.5, 2.5 points. Depends where you look. But what doesn't matter where you look is that Fox and Trey Lyles will still be out. We'll have all your audio bliss right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night at 5:30, pregame at 6:30, tip-off with the G-Man at 7. Don't forget, all guests and all callers are brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are the headlines. Now we get back to Stiles and Watkins.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, and we are 2 hours in. It's time to crank it up a notch because we're talking about the Kings, not the. I see you, Steven. On the chat, on the text line, 916. Guys, are we talking about the Kings or the Kangs? That's from Steven. That's right. That's right, Chris.
It's feeling like the Kangs.
Because they're coming at you, CK916 on the YouTube chat. We were the 3 seed last year.
Yeah,
we are
year.
home tonight.
Yeah.
We are not playing the Celtics or the Nuggets. No moral victories. I say no.
Okay.
And I agree with CK.
Okay, because we can't feel bad unless we get a result.
No.
Okay. Or good.
Okay, but Chris,
No,
but Chris, hear me out.
Yeah.
What did that Warriors moral victory do for the Kings?
Nothing. For sure.
Nothing.
No, yeah, it didn't mean anything. I think it's more just for sanity at this point. I'm telling you, like,
fair.
It's more just for feeling good about the direction of things. Like, I think that's also important. Again, like, y'all need to meet me where I'm at. Like, you guys, I feel like the Kings are not in a good place right now. And I feel like people are trying to massage it with.
No.
And normally I might try and also massage it with it's early in the season. However, from watching these games, I have real concerns that are a lot deeper than just it's early in the season and there's some, like, they have looked bad. They have looked like they just met each other a week ago.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Not where the basement is, but would you say that based on what you've seen from the Kings, well, let me start here. What was your initial ceiling for the Kings? And I remember you talking about it. You said getting to the second round or winning the second round.
I think the absolute ceiling of this team is maybe reaching the conference finals, but I think that's in a perfect world where everything goes awesome.
As of today, at 12:03,
sure,
on Veterans Day, shout out to our veterans. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Have you changed
Has that
where the
ceiling potential?
Yes, has the ceiling dropped?
No, because that's all De'Aaron Fox dependent. And it's very clear that this team is a different looking team when De'Aaron's out there. We haven't seen enough games with De'Aaron to see how high that potential is. But the fact that the rest of the guys are struggling so mightily without De'Aaron is still a bad sign, even when De'Aaron Fox comes back, because last time I checked, De'Aaron Fox does not play 48 minutes a game. They're going to have to play.
Yeah.
And, of course, it makes it easier when the threat of him entering the game is still looming and, he still has his impact on the game even when he's off the floor. But it's the fact that they look so disjointed and, again, are not hitting shots and are not – we're talking about a team that was the best offense in NBA history last year and is now barely getting to 100 points per game. Like, in the past, since De'Aaron's been out. Like,
it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good.
And I think everyone's trying to maybe mask it with, once De'Aaron comes back or it's early in the season. These are very, very real problems that have to get addressed. And if they don't get addressed, it's not a De'Aaron Fox deep problem. These are very, very deep-rooted problems.
But that is why, when I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, that is why if somebody uses Linsanity or if somebody says a flash in the pan, you sat here and we talked earlier, a couple weeks ago or maybe last week, and I said flash in the pan is what the Kings did last season, repeatable. You said yes.
Yeah.
When I think about things that are disjointed, I think about the Warriors last year and the punch heard all around the world, and things were just off.
Yeah.
The Kings, and Deuce Mason said it himself, he did a nice blurb on NBC Sports Bay Area, and Whitey spoke about it as well. The Kings are doing everything they did last season. They're just not making shots.
Yeah.
So what if they just don't make shots this season? I don't know if something's wrong with the foundation. What if they just cooled off?
Then I have nothing as an analyst to give.
I know you're not.
No, I just mean, if that's the case, there's nothing any of us could do. Like, they're just missing shots. It's like, I talked about it last year when Zach Lowe would talk about the Kings defense.
Mm-hmm.
He said that there's an element of they're just unlucky. Like, there's just sometimes teams hit tough shots against you, and normally that stuff would even out throughout an 82-game season, but sometimes it doesn't. And someone's got to be, somebody has to have the highest percentage in the league against them.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was the Kings last year, but sometimes you're just unlucky. And that would be one of those things where it's just, if you're drawing up a play and the play works perfectly, you get the shot you want, shot doesn't go in, there's nothing anybody can do about it except for actually make the shot. And that's just a completely random variable that nobody can really impact. Like, Kevin Huerter can put up 1,000 shots an hour. It's not going to mean that when he takes that one shot for that moment in the game, it's going to go in. You can just prepare yourself and put yourself in the situation to feel comfortable enough and confident enough to let that thing fly and feel like it's going to go in. But that doesn't mean it's going to.
Yeah. And I also think that confidence is a part of this. When you go up against a team that isn't great defensively, you're a bit more confident, right? And I think that's part of the kind of mind tricks that happen within sports in general. Going back to the offensive side of the basketball, what was it? It was offensive rating?
Yes, offensive rating was
in the history of the NBA.
Yes, yep.
Okay, now I'm going to go to our guy in New York, Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge set the AL record for home runs. What was it, last season?
Yeah.
And the Giants, I would have gladly taken him. He was not a Bay Area guy, but a Giants fan, right? But we thought, if you don't take Aaron Judge, how about this? What are the chances he hits 60-plus home runs again next season?
Sure.
Very low.
Yeah.
Right? The chances of that happening, he's a bigger guy, injury, and guess what? He didn't.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the Kings, now, we didn't expect this much of a drop-off, and we don't think it'll stay.
Yeah.
But the idea that the Kings were, again, going to have the same offensive efficiency that they had last season, I think we should have been prepared for some type of drop-off. I think we're just trying to figure out where the drop-off
how big of a drop-off.
Is it going to be Medusa from Six Flags?
Shout out.
Right? Shout out Medusa.
Vallejo.
Shout out Vallejo. E40. Tell me when to go. Where is it going to be? That's what none of us know yet, which makes breaking down them offensively very difficult. They're shooting the basketball. They're getting open shots. They have the most open threes in the NBA right now. So there are reasons to feel good about the Kings because that type of stuff is repeatable.
The underlying numbers are there.
You are going to continue to get open shots. You are going to continue to be able to find opportunities offensively. Will the ball go in the hoop? We don't know. And that's the scary part about trying to basically break down something that is so simple when we talk about basketball. Because what is it, Chris?
Shots. It's a make or miss lead.
It's a make or miss lead.
It's so simple. Like, sometimes we like to dress it up. Sometimes we like to talk 4 hours about this and that and this and that and this and that. But at the end of the day, it is the most basic analysis we can give is putting the ball in the basket is a good thing, and you're supposed to do that more than the other team on that given night. And the Kings just don't take, or I shouldn't say don't take, because like you said, they take the most open threes.
Yeah.
They just don't make them. And you just put it perfectly. Like, there's no way of figuring out at this moment in time where they're going to fall on that, how close to last year they're going to be able to replicate, because all of the success that we were planning for this season was based on the Kings hitting a percentage or having an offense that was, replicating last year would have been tough.
Just be
but
top 5.
Could you be close? Exactly.
5.
Can you be top 5? Can you still have that be your calling card? And I think the biggest problem the Kings have had without De'Aaron Fox is, what is their identity when De'Aaron Fox isn't out there? They clearly have no idea. They have absolutely no idea.
But with that being said, I will say, if they play the same defense that we've seen them play at times, and the same defense they played a couple nights ago against the Blazers, offensively, the offense will generate enough opportunities to win this basketball game. Mm-hmm. But are you going to hit your shots tonight, or are you not?
And effort, too. Effort's going to be a big thing as well, because in that Golden State game, their shots weren't falling. You remember the final score of that game? It was 102-101.
Yeah.
Shots aren't falling, but you still play defense, and you still believed for 48 minutes that you could make that into a game. We saw no effort, no heart in Houston at all. We're down by 30. This game's over. And it might have been, but there was no fight from that team. And against the Blazers, you could argue, they had some scrappiness at the beginning of that game, but they did not have the heart to use whatever term you want to keep the foot on the throat or whatever you want to say.
Foot on the gas.
Yeah, all that stuff wasn't there. And I think that's as well. And that's, again, where I'll take a moral victory or a step in the right direction. If the Kings compete for 48 minutes tonight and they just don't have enough talent.
How did you finesse this back to a moral victory?
I'm just
that was
saying,
well done, though.
Thank you. I appreciate
but
it.
But I'm still out.
I'm just saying, why is it wrong to feel okay? And I'm not even saying you have to feel great about it. I'm not saying it has to feel the same as winning the game. I just mean where the Kings are at right now, why can't steps in the right direction be good enough? And I understand.
My question is, when is it not good enough?
Probably pretty soon. I mean, yeah.
Because I'm looking here, right? I'm looking at the schedule here.
Again,
okay.
This seems like a very one-game specific.
Victory Monday.
This is a one-game specific thing. That's more where I'm getting at.
Because I'm saying, is it just all moral victories are okay until De'Aaron comes back?
Yeah. No, I just think that you have to be moving in the right direction. I don't want to see, they clearly played better against the Blazers than they did against the Rockets. Now, did they play great? Did they play to their level of expectation? No, but they still played well enough to get the result, whether it be in overtime or not. I want to see you continue to progress in the right direction and not go further back towards the team that we just saw 2 games ago. They've had one non-terrible game. All I'm saying is I want to see them continue to progress in the positive direction and not go back in the direction that we were just in earlier this week, where we're wondering, is this all a farce? Is this ridiculous? Should we eliminate the beam? Is everything bad?
Hey now, that wasn't me.
I don't know who.
That wasn't me. Don't get me started. I thought we're 2 days removed from this. Got to get to a break. Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for me is, I'm not on the moral victory train with you, but I will say the Kings could play better than they did against the Blazers and lose. Mm-hmm. That's how high I am on the Thunder. Yes. So because of that, it's a weird situation because, all right, well, they played better than they did a couple days ago, but they caught the L because the Thunder are 5-3. They're moving in the right direction. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more of your calls, more of your texts, more of your chat. Should the Kings continue to start Keon Ellis, or should they move in a different direction? That and much more. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Expect to see a mix of sun and clouds, light winds, and highs today peaking in the upper 60s. Expect overnight lows down to the lower 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. Trying to convince Chris that the Kings, they got this tonight. Chris Watkins, Alan Stiles, taking you up to 2 p.m. on a Friday, fun day. We're trying to make it fun.
Trying to.
Chris looking fresh.
Thank you.
In the Sharks sweater.
This is getting so old at this point.
Well, I'm just saying, the Sharks win 2 in a row, and now come on.
I literally know nothing about hockey. I don't even pretend to know anything about hockey. I've tried to watch a couple hockey games. I feel confused.
I'll go with you.
I would love to go because
baby's first game,
as like someone who's way too into sports, i.e. the job, it's really an interesting experience to watch something like a sport and just be like, I have, watching cricket or whatever, or watching hockey and just be like, I have absolutely no idea what's going on, but I can just yell and scream and, be ignorant for a little bit. It's
right.
fun.
No, we should go. Nate, you ever gone to a hockey game?
No, but I want to go.
Let's go.
I do want to go.
Nate, you never played hockey?
No, I
would have guessed.
Hockey.
Yeah.
You look like a
no
hockey
helmet
player.
either.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't play.
Yeah. I used to be a lot skinnier too, scrawnier. So I would have got crushed.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I do think the Sharks probably have the best jersey in the NHL. I really like their
a
logo.
bold statement.
Yeah.
How many jerseys do you know?
4.
So, a couple.
I like the old Ducks.
I was gonna say they brought the Ducks back. I don't know if that was a special.
Mighty Ducks. Yeah,
right. The Anaheim. I don't know if they brought it back forever, but yeah, they did bring it back. I like the Sharks. I do like the Sharks because they are unique colors. I do like the color
the teal
scheme.
is great.
Really one of the only ones in I won't say pro sports because I can't speak to all of them, but one of the more unique color schemes.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody who shares it.
I
can't think. I mean, I'm thinking like Tulane or something, but that's obviously not a school. Or not a professional.
We're not counting that. And Tulane is green.
Super interesting.
The green, right? But they've kind of added in that weird
more
bluish
into this. Yeah.
But yeah, Sharks. I can't.
Great.
They're definitely top 5, Nate. They're definitely top 5.
Okay,
I'll give you that.
So,
I'll give you that.
not
Even though
that
you don't
bold,
even
then.
know
Not that
5
I got 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the Flyers.
The Flyers are good.
The Blackhawks.
I don't like those colors.
The Vegas Knights is kind of cool. It's a little too
new for me.
Yeah,
I gotta go classic.
Fresh. Yeah.
Red Wings.
Yep. Yeah, that's
classic.
probably like.
It's kind of like a Celtics jersey.
Yeah, the Red Wings. What else is there?
Rangers.
The Rangers.
Those are decent.
Right. The Coyotes is interesting.
Sure.
Tampa Bay. Dallas Stars. I was a big Mike Modano guy back in the day. Big Mike Modano guy. So,
I can throw out a couple names. But
I told you I played hockey, and then I had the hockey games on my PlayStation 2. So
NHL
I got down.
98. That's the last NHL game I had.
And
PS1.
I believe Mike Modano was on that game. So
yeah,
so
Paul
there you
Correa,
go.
That's a name
Yes,
I've heard.
that's
Yadimir Yager, these are
you got
names.
it. You got it.
I think that's about as far as I
All
go.
right. I think it was 2K1 because I would switch between NBA and
I think it was
NHL.
just 2K, they call it, because they were like, yeah, we're going to start 2K.
Yeah.
And then it would be 2K02 or that was quite
Great
a time.
times. Those were when those games were $20 too.
There you
that
go.
That was like the whole thing about 2K back in the day.
There you go. Shout out San Jose Sharks. What is it? 2 games that's not a win streak yet. 3.
That's a win
2
streak.
or 3.
Yeah, it's a 2-game win streak.
It's in
Well,
it's
Call
in
of
Major
Duty-
League. If you win 2, that's called a winning streak.
That counts. I'm counting it.
It's not a kill streak in Call of Duty till you
That's
get
true.
3.
That's very
So,
true.
If we're going off that.
That's very true.
There you go. Patrick Donaldson trying to get Chris on the positive side of things on this Friday Fun Day.
Oh.
Patrick Donaldson, you always need to look at the loss column in the standings, and the Kings only have one more loss than the Warriors. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in that, but yeah, people do say that all the time. I don't personally believe it, but yeah.
From the 209, Kings all day, all caps. Thunder,
yes, sir,
are weak.
Ooh.
Last text from the 209, Kings about to smash them.
Wow, I like the faith though. I love it because I mean, I definitely felt from just the vibe of, and again, social media is. What is it? 8%, 20%? I don't know. It's a small percentage of what people actually feel, but it did feel like, and of course, social media breeds doom and gloom, but it did feel like people weren't very excited about the Kings' prospects of winning this game.
No, and again, depending on
sense,
the model that you're looking at, we've seen Kings as 2.5 point underdogs. We've seen Kings as 1.5 point underdogs. The point is, a lot of people don't think the Kings are going to get this one done, but they also don't think the Kings are going to get their doors blown off, right? So there is some respect there. I would say my question to you is, before we get into who should start again, my question to you is, every single day as you guess, hey, will this be the day that Keegan breaks out, right? It's almost like you go to a baseball game. I'm calling the home run right here, right? And eventually a home run happens. It's today, the day. It kind of makes sense, right? There was so much put on Keegan with his brother, family in town, a little bit extra pressure there. This could be the game. Okay, everybody's just chilling. Right. It is in season tournament. Everyone's just chilling. Sure. My brother's gone. He's on his way wherever the Blazers are going next. This could be the game where nobody's thinking about it as far as Keegan, and he breaks out.
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing that the Kings have working most in their favor is they have nothing to lose.
Right.
And like there is a freedom in a weird way, there is a freedom of, well, everyone kind of expects us to play bad. So if we do, it's kind of not the end of the world. And all we can really do is impress people with our effort and how we play. So if Keegan kind of approaches it with a similar mentality of kind of like you're saying, like, I'm already struggling.
Right.
I've already missed multiple opportunities that seem obvious of a rebirthing of a game. Why not tonight? Why not tonight? Just go into it with no expectations. Don't worry about if you struggle. You've already been struggling, so it won't be anything new. All you can really do is impress people. I think that would go a long way because Keegan doesn't, just the way he carries himself from what we know of Keegan Murray, I wouldn't guess that he's somebody who deals with stress really well or with pressure or with not necessarily pressure in terms of like big situations, but just a lot of expectation put before a game or anything like that. He feels like somebody who probably thinks a lot. And not that that's a bad thing even. I just think it's a human trait that some people have more than others. And it wouldn't surprise me if him relaxing and just playing his game. I think a big part of his struggles so far has been Mike Brown's asking him to do so many new things that it's just his mind is just racing the entire game. The second he touches the ball, he's not in a flow state. He's in a
offensively or defensively?
Offensively.
Okay. Because I was going to say, here's a question. We already talked about Davion, and we're going to get into who should start, right? Because maybe this question answers itself.
Sure.
Because then it becomes these guys and the length that the Thunder have is ridiculous
it's
here.
Crazy. It's absurd.
Who do you put Keegan? If you want Keegan to really focus on offense tonight, who the heck do you put him on?
Josh Giddey. Put him on Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
Josh Giddey's, I mean, he's not blazing fast. His first step isn't anything crazy. He's not somebody who's going to be looking or hunting for a shot or anything like that. I think Giddey's a perfect person to put on. Or you can put him on Jalen Williams if you still want him to keep that defensive edge and that mindset. Jalen Williams is a medium risk guy,
Would you like mild, medium, or hot?
Exactly. And Shea is obviously the hot. If you want to be like, they put him on Steph, put him on Shea. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a longer defensive or a longer rangier guy that you can throw Keegan out there, and it makes a little bit of sense. But I feel like Giddey is probably the safest option just because you don't really think of him giving you 25 on any night. Like he might be able to give you 16 or 18 or something like that. He might knock down a couple threes, but I would say you're probably not going to run around a ton with Josh Giddey.
Stiles and Watkins got to get to a break. When we get back, would you keep starting Keon Ellis? And more of your calls, text 916-339-1140. How confident are you in the Kings right now tonight and as a whole? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has a selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Your defending Big Sky champion Sacramento State Hornets are home this Saturday afternoon against the Cal Poly Mustangs. It's Military Appreciation Day at Hornet Stadium as we honor our local heroes. And don't miss the pregame flyover as kickoff is set for 2 p.m. Let's pack Hornet Stadium for the final regular season home game of the year as the Hornets strive for a 4th straight trip to the postseason. Don't miss any of the action or excitement of Hornet football. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
When every shot counts, the professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio encourage you to try the brand new Titleist T-Series irons. Irons designed to enhance your play through control, distance, flight, forgiveness, looks, sound, and feel. With 4 T-Series models, the fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at HagenOaks.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Nate Littlefield. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. Your Sacramento Kings make their debut into the NBA in-season tournament tonight. They take on the 5-3 OKC Thunder, who have won their last two. OKC is favored by 8.5 with Fox and Trey Lyles out. We'll have all your audio bliss right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night, 5:30 p.m. pregame, 6:30 tip-off with the G-Man at 7. Don't forget, all callers brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. And your Sac State Hornets are home this Saturday for a 2 p.m. kickoff against the Cal Poly Mustangs. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Those are the headlines. Let's get back to Stiles and Watkins.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Larry Krueger joins us at 1 p.m. to talk some Niners and the San Francisco Gigantes on a Veterans Day on a Friday. Shout out to all the veterans. Thank you for your service.
Yes.
If it's a payday Friday for you, be wise, but enjoy yourself. Yeah. Gotta enjoy yourself. 916, we love when you put your name on it. Those texts that we read last segment talking about the Kings going to smash the Thunder. 209 also said, if we go deep in the rotation, I like our chances. That is from Jamie. So shout out to Jamie, friend of the show. Thank you, Jamie, for your contributions. And hopefully you are correct. The question is the starting lineup. And Shea Gilgeous goes at a healthy 6'6". We were talking earlier about some measurables. Brock Purdy. We had Nate in here standing next to Chris trying to figure out who is what height. Chris Verlade was the one go ahead and measuring them because everybody looks the same to me at this point in time. So I'm not the person to ask. But Shea Gilgeous is tall. Shea Gilgeous is a long fellow in terms of the point guard position, and same with Josh Giddey. Yeah. And then you had Chet Holmgren. Just even bigger. It's like the AT&T bars. Yeah. Right? That's
looking
what's
like
going
the Monstars.
Exactly. That's going on. That's what's going on for the Thunder. And the question is, would you keep Keon Ellis in the starting lineup because of that?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I imagine it's one that Mike Brown and his staff have been probably going over probably all the way up until now. Right. Like, it's really something that you need to fully think about all the pros and the cons. And, you know, as a side note, before we get into it, I think it just in general is going to be interesting to see if the in-season tournament-ness of this all plays any effect into how the Kings just attitude and how they address the game. Like, is there going to be a different level of fight we haven't seen? And even if it is, do we attribute that to the in-season tournament, or is it just a coincidence? Last time the in-season tournament was played last Friday, since they didn't play any games on Tuesday, I think we had the note in the rundown earlier in the week that like the margin of victory on that night was under 6 points. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or it is actually a symptom of the fact that these games might truly have a little bit of an elevated feeling to them for whatever reason. I
think they do. Yeah. I think they do.
Yeah. And
for the players, I don't know about for the fans.
Yeah.
But I think the fans are going to ride the players' energy.
Exactly.
So once you can tell that the players are into it more, I think it does affect the fans. So I think going into it, and Sabonis, we had sound on Sabonis from a couple of weeks ago where he said, being, overseas, very much into soccer, it reminds him of that, and he was super into it. And I think a lot of the players were into it because the players, they need reasons to get up, right?
Yes,
I mean,
totally.
You've seen people say, I don't care about games until February. You're not supposed to say that, but they say it anyway on their podcast. I wasn't going to say the name, but they say things like that.
Here.
It was
because he directly mentioned the Kings. He directly was like, in Sacramento, I might not get up for that game.
It just doesn't end. It just never ends, and it never will. But you have things like the in-season tournament to where it's an opportunity for some young guys to get up.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City Thunder, they're trying to win something.
For sure. Right.
Kings, they're trying to win something.
If you can't win a NBA title, this is at the moment, this is the second or third best thing, I guess.
Right now, put yourself on the radar. And, I'm sure a little bit later, I don't think maybe on these initial contracts or if your contract was already written up, but I'm sure there will be incentives added to because it's all
MVP,
connected.
all tournament first team.
It's all
stuff.
connected.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
As it goes, green is king, right? Green is always king. So I think that is a good point, and I do think people are going to ride with the kind of the vibe of the in season, and I would expect the crowd tonight. You talked about, the first couple of games that I went to being Warriors and Lakers, where it's normally pretty split because that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But something like this, I don't know how many Oklahoma City Thunder fans will be mobbing around the Doco. I don't think so.
They'll be sprinkled.
Yes, I think that bodes well for the Kings, and I think it'll be a really, really cool experience on that cool new floor in their City Edition jersey. So I think that'll be all good.
Yes. But to answer your question,
yes,
I do think if I were to look at it, I think starting Keon makes the most sense. I still think that his length, we had the conversation about length and why it makes a lot of sense going against Shea with Keon over Davion makes a lot of sense. But I think that also just the fact that Keon's scoring isn't really needed in that lineup as well. He needs to shoot the ball for sure just to continue to be a threat, but his defense is going to be his calling card with that lineup, and that could be really used with those guys. The only fear, of course, is you're sacrificing playmaking. Sabonis is really the only playmaker you have out there. It seemed to me when they did start the game with Keon, there was a get the rebound, whoever gets the rebound brings it up kind of thing where it didn't matter if it was Harrison or Herter or Keon initiating the offense because you don't really have a true point guard. So that's really the only downfall. But I think, again, if they can form some sort of identity with that starting lineup, I think it would just go a long way. So I feel like Keon being in that starting lineup makes the most sense. You don't really touch the second unit. Davion played so well on Friday or the other day on Wednesday. You want him feeling comfortable. Apparently Malik is just untouchable in that 6-man spot. So he's stuck there. I think it makes the most sense to just kind of bring Keon in. And it'll be interesting to see if Colby Jones gets minutes.
I was literally just double checking.
Yeah.
This has been a height type show here because of the Thunder and what they bring. And also we were talking about Brock Purdy and all that jazz, a little bit of more Niners talk in the 1 o'clock hour. Colby Jones, 6'6".
Yeah. No joke. Yeah. He's 6'6". He's a legit swing guard.
So I would not be, defensively, is he Keon Ellis? No. And defensively, is he Davion? No, but he has the length that Davion doesn't have. So you ain't got to get ready if you stay ready. And I would not be surprised. And we know Colby Jones brings more offensively than Keon Ellis.
Yeah, for sure.
The way Mike Jones has been coaching this thing, looking for who? Mike Jones, right? Colby Jones, Mike Brown. The way he's been coaching this thing. What was it? 8-7-7. We'll get the number after. We'll come in with that next time, Nate. The way he's been coaching this thing, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Colby Jones random game and he gets 20 minutes.
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
JaVale as well. Who knows? I know Alex Len played well.
Yeah.
But who knows these days?
Yeah. I would love to see the Kings go go big tonight. I think this is definitely a team where, we've talked a lot about their length and their height. I would love to see Alex Len, JaVale, and Sabonis, not all at the same time, obviously, but I think that there's room for maybe, if you want to steal some minutes with both of those guys out there, because it is a situation where, again, when you don't have De'Aaron, you kind of need to formulate some other identity or think outside the box. And I think leaning into OKC really only having one big, and that big being Chet Holmgren, if you want to describe him as a big, being 175 pounds soaking wet, maybe you say they have no answer for this. They have no answer for us just throwing JaVale, throwing Alex Len, and throwing Sabonis out there. Maybe that's where the Kings can find an advantage. So, I think that there's tons of different opportunities for people tonight to be inserted and to make an impact. But frankly, I mean, I think the one guy who, if you're just going to look at it, who really doesn't fit in this game is Davion. And it's just merely because his size doesn't really warrant himself to do the thing he's great at, and that's defend. There's not really a guy that you can say, okay, let's put Davion on him and, it'll lend itself to results. Like if you put Davion on Shea, I just have a tough time seeing that really be super effective.
Right. And you brought up the Kings' identity without De'Aaron. And really what it is right now is we're either going to work through Sabonis or we're going to drive and kick and hopefully make a three.
Yep.
That's
it.
That's basically it.
If those don't work, we've seen there's nothing else. They ain't got anything else, because if the shots aren't going in and Sabonis ain't shooting, there's no offense being produced.
And if Malik is in the PNR.
Yeah.
Right. The pick and roll, and that's what you got.
Yeah. And that's not going to give you more than like 108 point. You're not going to be putting up 130 if you're just preying on shots going in, and it's the situation the Kings are in right now. I don't know.
Right.
It doesn't feel good.
And that's why you better just show up defensively. If you show up defensively, you give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
And, I saw Dwayne Baker in the YouTube chat, hey, put Keegan on Shea. I just don't think you can afford to.
Yeah.
I think it is more important. It is more important to just hope that this is the game that Keegan goes off, and Kevin Huerter has really started to find his stroke and gets back into the swing of things as he did last game. I just don't think you can afford to put Keegan on Shea.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, I think the Kings just kind of need to go back to last year's plan of forget about defense, just outscore your team. Just like you have to just kind of be an offensive juggernaut if you want to win, because I don't think that the Kings' best defenders, maybe Kessler Edwards.
I was going to say, let's see Kessler.
Yeah, but even then, I think Shea is the one that makes the most sense to put Kessler on him. It's a really interesting team for them to go against, because frankly, this is the exact profile of a team that gave the Kings nightmares last year. They really struggled against teams like Orlando, the Lakers, and Minnesota, because they have all of these 6'6", 7-foot guys who have crazy wingspans, and the Kings really only have their 2 6'8s. They really only have Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray, who match up well against guys who have that kind of profile. So it's kind of a combination of just a perfect storm of bad things for the Kings, not having De'Aaron, not even having Trey Lyles out there. Trey would be huge on a night like tonight, because he's that 6'8", 6'9", versatile forward center who really matches up well with a team like this. So maybe we see Sasha. Sasha kind of has the same body type, doesn't nearly play the same as Trey, but I mean, the Kings are kind of in a disadvantage in a lot of ways in this game, and I think that's where all of my doubt kind of starts to come from, is just when you look at it on paper and I try and visualize, okay, if you're Mike Brown, you put him on him on him, it just feels like the Kings are playing defense in this sense, and not in the sense of OKC is definitely the one who, when I think about this matchup, they're setting the tone. They're the ones that you have to find the answers for. I don't think the Kings are the aggressors in this situation.
And I don't think they're used to that. Yeah. But the good thing is the game is not played on paper.
It is not. No, it's not.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, Chris is making it sound like the Thunder are the Michael Jordan Bulls. We'll pull some stats.
Nope, they're just the Kings of last year.
We'll see where they stack up. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year. all-stars and all NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox. The breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's the first ever Elk Grove Kia Frozen Turkey Bowling Extravaganza on November 18th, 2023 from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. That's right, a frozen turkey becomes the bowling ball, and 10 liquid-filled plastic beverage bottles are your pins. It's not just bowling, it's an adventure. Knock down those pins. Each pin has a number attached to it, which means your skills can lead you to awesome prizes. And guess what? Each person gets 2 rolls, so you can aim for perfection. Now, how can you be part of this amazing event? Simple. Register at Elk Grove Kia for one of the 8 coveted spots through a raffle. But hurry, the registration deadline is November 17th, 2023 at 6 p.m. sharp. And here's the best part. No purchase is necessary. That's right. It's all about the fun and games. So make your way to Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall today for a chance to win a spot at the inaugural Elk Grove Kia Turkey Bowl. Rules and regulations at elkgrovekia.com.
Elk Grove Kia.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from and the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Yeah, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from Truck Smart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since Truck Smart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. Trucksmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
Hello, I'm Frank Ockwell with Retirement Security Centers with the weekly economic update. The knock more Americans are hearing at the door may be debt collectors looking to settle up. While the American consumer is keeping the economy running, some of their spending may be done on credit. Credit delinquencies 90 days or more are the highest they've been since 2011, but still below pre-pandemic levels. Americans 30 through 39 are those with the sharpest increases. Household debt increased to $17.29 trillion in the third quarter, with credit card balances totaling over $1 trillion of this amount. The delinquencies were more pronounced with millennials with auto loans and student debt. Another knock at your door could be your room service order, as Vegas casinos reached a tentative deal with employees, avoiding a walkout and strike for now. Labor costs have risen dramatically this year, as have strikes. Continued wage inflation could lead Fed members to keep raising rates until labor markets soften. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC, and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. Makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Cooler temperatures mean it's time to reduce your outdoor water use. Water 1 day per week on Saturday or Sunday from November 1st through February 29th. Learn more about your home's watering schedule at sacwaterwise.com.
hope that the Kings are saying, yeah, baby, after they beat.
All right.
Yep, that's what they're hoping for.
I know you're not getting on me for
that's what they're going to do
doing too much with the joke.
Listen, I'm not the host.
I know you're not getting on me. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m.
Can't wait.
And it is time to preview the Thunder. And, Chris, we've been trying to get Chris, hey, man, got a shot tonight. Kings got a shot tonight. And Chris is not really excited about going to the game tonight. He's worried. He's worried about going. I said, Chris, we're going to be there. It's a Friday night. It's an in-season tournament. It's going to be a good time. We've been trying, and thank you to the callers and texters who have been moving us in the right direction. And I think we're starting to get Chris on the right side of things. So we have some stats because Chris is making it sound like the Thunder are just world beaters, right? So the Thunder right now, they are 8th in Bleacher Report's power rankings.
Okay.
7th in offensive rating and 11th in defensive rating. So they're good.
They're good. Yeah.
They're good.
Those are really those are good numbers. Yes, I would not say really.
Yes, they are good.
Yeah, they're performing well for sure. And those are, and that's another, the balance also is a thing the Kings need to worry about. Like, it's not like this team is like the Kings of last year where they're great on offense, but they're so bad on defense. They're going to give you a chance to be in this game. They can play either style. If the Kings want to muck this thing up, if they want to limit possessions, Thunder are a really good defensive team, and that could be a recipe for the Kings only scoring 80 points or something like we saw in Houston. Or if the Kings want to run it up and say, yeah, let our shooters shoot and let's try and play the Kings basketball of last year. OKC's got weapons too that they can go head to head with. I'm not going to ever say toe to toe with ever again after what happened that one time. So they can definitely. They've got a good balance in OKC, and that's again another thing that's just, it's a really, really scary matchup to go in against.
Yeah, and you talk about the defense for OKC, 11th in defensive rating, and the length that they have. I wonder how that bothers shooters.
Right, I'm sure
at the same time. It's not the same as a normal size guard trying to get in your airspace.
There's a big difference between Steph Curry closing out and Shai Gilgeous or Josh Giddey closing out.
Right. Yeah. So the Kings are going to have to deal with that. You have some even deeper stats from our guy, Will Z.
Shout out Will Z, who's doing great previews before every single Kings game. You can also check out some previews. I believe Frankie's doing previews before every game on Sactown Sports, but you can check Will Z's out as well. Will points out that the Oklahoma City Thunder are second right now in the NBA, just behind the Dallas Mavericks for 3-point percentage. OKC's knocking down threes at a 39% clip, which if Kevin Huerter's shooting 39%, like that's elite for a player.
Yes.
So if an entire team is shooting 40%, they're knocking it down. So the Kings cannot afford to give them open looks. However, saying that with the open looks, Oklahoma City is 5th in the NBA in wide open 3-point attempts. We were talking about the Kings wide open threes. I believe the Kings are either 1st or 2nd in that number. OKC is 5th. So they also do a great job of getting open looks, but not only that, they're fewest attempts in the league with tightly contested threes. So not only are they getting the most or the 5th most open looks, they very rarely are getting contested threes. So a lot of their looks are really decent looks, which is probably leading itself to shooting 40%. Some of the higher shooters or the higher percentage shooters on their team, Chet Holmgren, concerning. 55% of his threes he's knocked down this year. I don't know how many he's taking. I assume it's 3 or so a game.
He's shooting 55%.
55.6% from 3 so far this season. And what that tells me is Sabonis is going to have to come out on him.
Yep.
You can't allow him to just stand out there and live with the result of, oh, it's okay, it's still a big man hitting a 3. If Chet's knocking down 55.6% of his threes on 3 attempts per game, you're going to have to step out there and not allow him to hit those, because once he does, again, that's how you open up. Okay, now he pumps and drives past you, and we just can't have that. That also pulls Sabonis out of the paint as well. So the Kings have to be better at perimeter defense. They cannot allow people to be, they can't be turnstiles on the defensive end like they've been all year long, where it's just, oh, let's hope that Sabonis can get a vertical contest or JaVale McGee's back there to block the rim. If Chet's hitting threes and they have to be pulled out, the Kings have nobody in the paint to protect the paint as well. So it could really leak out. Lou Dort's also averaging 52%. And the number I do want to point out, just to be positive about the Kings, this is their advantage, and Will writes this. There's an obvious advantage for the Kings in this one, and they'll hope to use it to get the win and exploit it. The Thunder are not a good rebounding team. They average 41.8 boards per game, 25th in the NBA. 7.5 offensive rebounds for OKC. That's last in the NBA. And they allow the 6th most total rebounds and the 1st most offensive rebounds at 14.4 per game. The Kings, mind you, got 15 offensive rebounds against the Blazers. How weird would it be if the Kings could win this game using their biggest weakness from last year? If offensive rebounds ends up winning this game for the Kings, I'll take it again. I'll take it how I can get it. It's been a weird year, and that would be the strangest thing. But again, I think that points to, like I mentioned earlier, maybe the Kings should just try and go complete counter and just go as big as possible and throw out as many big men and try and use that advantage on the glass as much as they can, getting second chance opportunities. Getting, defense or ending possessions is the biggest part of defense. You can defend for 24 seconds and not get the defensive rebound. All of it was for nothing. So if they can really take advantage of the glass and use it to their advantage in a major way, that to me seems like the best route for success for tonight.
Got to defend, got to rebound, got to try to exploit the Thunder where they can. That is what the Kings need to do. And again, when you do get jump shots, you might want to try making them. That would help too.
Just a couple.
That would help too. Got to get to a break. When we get back, Larry Krueger joins us to talk Niners and Giants. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It's amazing how a short drive can make an incredible difference when you buy a Mercedes-Benz. Family-owned Mercedes-Benz of Stockton invites you to take advantage of a special certified pre-owned Mercedes finance rate of 3.09% for up to 36 months. October is a great month to consider buying a pre-owned Mercedes. See why our customers come back year after year, generation after generation. Your best Mercedes-Benz car buying experience ever awaits you at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. mbofstockton.com.
Kings basketball is back. Coming off an exhilarating playoff run last season, you don't want to miss seeing this team in action. Be there when De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, new addition Sasha Vezenkov, and the Beam team take the court at Golden One Center. Plus, catch the all-new NBA in-season tournament games against the Thunder on November 10th and the Warriors on November 28th. Tickets for games this season start at just $18. So head to kings.com/tickets, and together, let's bring the roar.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone for the life of your garden. Despite being on their bye week, the 49ers had a good week 9 with all other NFC West teams losing. The red and gold sit at 5-3 currently, regaining a hold of the top spot in the division with Seattle's loss to Baltimore. The 49ers will look to rally in week 10, heading to Jacksonville for a road clash with the AFC South leaders. And after adding former number 2 overall pick Chase Young at the trade deadline, the squad feels rejuvenated to make a run into 2024.
With over 100 years as a family-owned company, EB Stone's learned a few things about making plants grow. Start a healthy family hobby with indoor planting with EB Stone's Edna's Best Indoor and Outdoor Potting Soil to help your little plants grow into the perfect indoor plant for the kids and family to enjoy. EB Stone's Indoor and Outdoor Potting Soil is perfectly blended with all the important ingredients you need to create that perfect indoor and outdoor plant or garden. EB Stone for the life of your garden. Visit ebstone.org for more gardening tips, products, and locations near you.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's going on at Hoblet this month, Chad?
We're celebrating the Black Friday sales event all month long, which means you're saving big with up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 crew cabs with no payments for 90 days. That means you get your new truck with no payments until 2024. And we have new Rams starting under $30,000.
That's probably why you're the number one Ram truck dealer in California and number 3 in the nation.
Well, that, and because we also have huge savings on heavy duties too, with up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 2500 heavy-duty crew cabs. That means you can get the brand new heavy-duty truck you need starting at $45,995 and no payments until next year.
Well, there you go. Get your new truck now at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center or search Select and Save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$15,000 total net savings on $1,500 after $11,000 factory rebates and $4,000 dealer discount. 5 of this net savings. Under $30,000 VIN number 527379. $15,000 total net savings on $2,500 after $10,000 factory rebates and $5,000 dealer discount. 5 of this net savings. $45,995 VIN 502146. Rebates include $1,000 case construction bonus cash. Must have purchased eligible case equipment from qualifying dealer. No payments for 90 days through Chrysler Capital.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports, joined by my guy, did some shows together back in the day, Larry Krueger. Larry, I was shouting you out earlier. Probably, I don't want to do too much here. Probably the biggest, if not top 3 at worst, Niners YouTube channels going right now. Just want to congratulate you and the work you've done, man. You are really doing it right now.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Good to see you're up there at Sactown Sports. I went to Sac State. You go. I've done many a show on 1140 there. I did a weekend show with the great Chris Townsend back in 2006, the Krug and Towney show up there, and a lot of my fraternity brothers are still hanging out in Sac, and I love Sacramento, man. So I was thrilled when I saw the news that you're joining Whitey up there and doing your thing, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Stingers up, right? Stingers up. That's how it goes. There you go, Larry. So, where the vibes are good right now. The question is, are the vibes going to continue to be good, specifically for the Niners this weekend when they head to Jacksonville? I know the Niners, that fan base travels amazing. I saw the ticket percentages. It's always good for the red and gold. But do you think the fans down in Jacksonville will be celebrating a victory? How confident are you in the Niners?
Well, wow. I think it's going to be a tough game. I really do. I think it's going to be a very, very tough game. Lawrence has got it going right now. Now, we know he's got a ton of speed on his offense and he's got a big arm, but their O-line's no good. So Peterson's throwing it to Evan Engram repeatedly, and the Niners have to figure out a way to take away all those short pitch and catch throws from Trevor Lawrence to Evan Engram, who was a bust with the New York Giants, but now in Jacksonville, I mean, he caught 10 balls last game against the Steelers, and the guy's a real force, and he's their continuity piece, Alan. He's the guy that they try to move the chains with. So the Niners have to stop the run, and they got to stop Evan Engram.
Larry, appreciate you coming on. I was looking at the Eagles schedule the other day. They obviously have a bye this week. They played the Cowboys last week, but the Eagles' upcoming schedule is just brutal. They play the Chiefs, then the Bills, then they have that Niners game, and then play the Cowboys again, followed by the Seahawks as well. I mean, how are you feeling about the Niners' chances right now of still finishing off the year with the best record in the NFC? Of course, the Lions are still lingering as well.
It's like almost like I don't even want to think about that because the 49ers just have to get a win, right? They haven't won in a while. And they haven't even led in any of these games for the most part. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's viable. I think Detroit is still up there for that top seed as well. I know that sounds crazy, but they've got kind of an easier schedule. But man, I mean, I'll tell you the game that's really looming for the Niners as a big game beyond Philly is Christmas night against Lamar and the Ravens. That's the number one rushing attack in the game right now, and the Niners aren't stopping the run. So that I almost have that one down as a loss right now. So, I mean, 49ers just have to regroup. They gotta get this win against Jacksonville. You could argue that the wrong team's favored. I mean, the Niners haven't won in a month, basically.
Right.
Jacksonville hasn't lost in 5 weeks. They get the longest streak going, and they haven't trailed in any of those games. So I'm a little, Vegas always knows, so that makes me feel good. But I think this is going to be tough. I think it's going to be a challenge for Trent Williams, who's going to be a game-time decision now at left tackle. We found out that today at practice. And Colton McKivitz going up against Trayvon Walker against McKivitz and Josh Allen against Trent, or if not Trent, Jalen Moore. I mean, that's going to be a absolute, battle royale. Can the Niners block this Jaguar line?
Talking to Larry Krueger here, host of The Krug Show on YouTube, the biggest Niners YouTube channel. Larry, again, thank you for joining us. And Larry, you know how this goes. You've been in the game for so long. You knew we weren't going to let you get out of here or get too far without talking about Brock Purdy. How do you assess Brock Purdy, and have people been overblowing his mistakes? What would you say you'd like to see from Brock Purdy moving forward?
He's got to be more patient. I mean, the 49ers, I think they need to start playing in this game against Jacksonville complementary football. And it really plays into Kyle and Brock need the same message, which Brock needs to be patient. Kyle needs to be patient. They need to go on long extended drives, start to play complementary football, and start to protect their defense a little bit. I talked to Kasarik in July. I said, Chris, you going to play Bosa and your number one D-line a bunch this year? You're loaded up front. You don't have quite the same depth. He's like, no, I'm going to play these guys in a rotation. And he's like, and he made the point. He's like, I can't play Bosa 65 to 70 snaps a week and have him be fresh in January.
Right.
Well, he played 68 snaps against Cincinnati. He's played 60-plus snaps the last 3 games. So that's why Chase Young's here. That's why Randy Gregory's here. They got to play complementary football and try to dominate the time of possession against Jacksonville. Try to save and preserve Bosa as much as possible.
Larry, it feels like the biggest talking point this week has been Steve Wilks moving down to the sideline from the booth. Do you feel like it's as big of a deal as what everyone's making it? I mean, it seems like Steve Wilks is kind of trying to douse any smoke that this is a big deal or not, but it kind of feels like this is a big deal. How do you feel?
I think it's a total non-story. I mean, is Steve Wilks going to make the coverage tighter? Is Steve Wilks where he sits going to make D linemen come off blocks? Is Steve Wilks going to, now that he's on the sideline, now the Niner linebackers are not going to miss tackles? I mean, it's a player's game. The players have to play. They look a little gassed. They looked a little tired. They looked a little run down. Greenlaw told me yesterday that he had a shot in the ankle and the shoulder before the Cincy game, and then it just didn't take effect. He basically shouldn't have even been out there. He feels more refreshed coming out of the bye week. They just, their D-line's got to come off blocks and make tackles. Their linebackers, have to wrap up, and they got to get something in the run game out of Afonga and Gibson. Those guys have just been totally zero against the run. And, a couple of years ago, they had Tart and Ward, and they didn't get any interceptions. But those guys were like extra linebackers.
Right.
This year, Gibson and Gibson's biggest tackle was that penalty against him. And Fonga, who how many times we're going to see a Fonga make the T? But I got to see some tackles. The T starts, tackles.
Right.
Tackles.
Right. Yeah. Gotta see it, Larry. And Larry, we did some shows together, and both of us are baseball guys. So let's switch over here and talk a little bit of Giants. Bob Melvin, honestly, Larry, when I saw it, I don't know how moved I was, but everybody knows that they were going to move on from Gabe Kapler, who me and you have had some very, very frisky conversations about Gabe Kapler. We'll save that for the next time you come on. How did you feel when they announced Bob Melvin as a new manager for the Giants?
Well, I mean, he's solid. I mean, I was kind of hoping they would go with like either Veritek or Vogt as the young catcher, because we've seen, catchers have a great run. Of course, Melvin's a former catcher too.
Right.
The one thing I like about Melvin is that he's got enough like history in the game to be able to say to Farhan, okay, I saw your analytics, I digested it, and I decided to go in this direction for this reason.
Yeah.
Where I kind of felt like Gabe was just going to literally I took Farhan's analytics and I implemented them in the game, and I didn't have that experience to push back. I think Bob has the experience to push back. The other thing I really like about Melvin is if you study him, Alan, and look around like where he's been, everywhere he's been, he gets off to a good first year. I mean, he had a good first year in Oakland. He had a good first year in Arizona. He had a good first year in San Diego. So I think that the Giants need a turnaround, man. I mean, they were 17th in attendance last year. They've lost a ton of their audience. Farhan needs a big off season. They need to go sign some people or trade for some people that actually the fans have heard of. And they're going to have to get off to a hot start and show that they're a new and improved Giant team. Otherwise, guess what? People are just they're going to watch it on TV. They're going to go to Warrior games. They're going to wait for the Niners season, and they're not going to go. Nobody's running to get to downtown San Francisco for no reason. You have to motivate them to park their car, risk getting broken into, stepping over homeless and needles and everything else to get to these games. So you know what? You better have a good product. And so the Giants better wake up and put together a compelling team, or people are just going to be like, I'll catch it on the tube.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about bringing people in for the Giants. I saw a rumor yesterday that Pete Alonso, apparently the Giants are in on, and Juan Soto, and of course the Shohei courting, and even Mike Trout. I've seen the Giants have their name thrown in there. What do you think if you're Farhan, or if you're building out this team? Is it just is it a big name that's the first thing that needs to be checked off, or what do you feel like is the next move for this Giants team in terms of player acquisition?
It's a great question. And it's like, I think Alonso and Soto would be my main targets. Why? Because from what I'm reading, guys, Bellinger is going to want a 12-year deal. He's 28. So Bellinger had a good year this year. He hit over 300 with the Cubs, but he had two nightmarish years the years before. And supposedly he's got shoulder issues. And now you're going to give him a 12-year contract through his 40th birthday. No. I mean, that seems like a major risk. And then Shohei, you're going to have to pay $600 million to, not knowing if he's even going to pitch. So now you're paying $600 million for a DH. I mean, he would put butts in the seats. I'll say this: just from watching the Japanese baseball film on Yamamoto, to me, he looks like Lincecum. I mean, he's a small guy with big stuff.
Right.
And I think there's a very good chance that Yamamoto is going to be like the talk of the game. But I was joking with some people the other day. The Giants talk big names, and then here's Michael Conforto, So I was joking the other day on Twitter. It's like, okay, we want Shohei Ohtani. We want Juan Soto. We want Pete Alonso. Let's put it into the Giant Farhan computer.
Right.
What does it spit out? Trent Grisham.
Yep.
If you ask me to make a prediction, and I already did this on Twitter, so I'm just kind of repeating my tweet, but I think Trent Grisham is going to be the guy they go after, because Farhan's talking defense in the outfield. Harrison Bader, they're saying, is going to get like 2 years, $20 million. I think that'll be too rich for their blood. I think Kiermaier's defense has gone down. So there aren't a lot of options, and they're going to look at San Diego and go, oh, Bob, you manage Grisham, and he won 2 Gold Gloves there. And he hit like 198 this year. But I could see the Giants trading Elliot Ramos and Keaton Wynn, or, some 2 young players that have potential to the Padres for Trent Grisham, and all the yes men that are surround this Giant team as far as their media will just be like, hey, that was, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm just fired up about Trent Grisham. So,
oh man,
I wait a second. Boop, 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 boop. I Trent Grisham. to the Giants, guys. That's what I see.
Well, and I saw Larry. I even saw maybe a Tommy Pham who's kind of had no, because he played well, right? I know the whole Jock Peterson thing, but
keep him out of your fantasy league. That's all you got to do.
Exactly. Right. Just stay away from that. Larry, great stuff as always. I know you've been on 1140 before, but now you are a friend of Stiles and Watkins, and we will definitely have you on again, Larry. Please enjoy the game. Hopefully you're enjoying a Niners W. And Larry, I know you're in the Bay, but look, just for me, just for your guy, can I get a light the beam? Can I get that from you before you go?
Oh, I love the beam. Are you kidding me?
There you go.
Whoever, my brother's a judge up in Sac. He lives in the Thomas. All my buddies from Sac State, for the most part, are still up there. I'm hearing great things about your guys' show, so keep kicking butt. And light the beam, baby. Light that freaking beam.
Thank you, Larry Krueger. Please follow Larry. Subscribe to his YouTube. Great stuff. Probably the biggest Niners YouTube going right now. YouTube channel, The Krug Show. Thank you, Larry. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, you got to get to a break. When we get back, more Niners talk, and we're getting back 145. Pick your dog for the Kings game. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Looking to snap their 3-game losing streak. The San Francisco 49ers are back in action this Sunday on Sactown Sports.
McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
It's the 49ers and Jaguars from Jacksonville.
Sunday morning at 10 on your home of the 49ers, Sactown Sports.
Gold Country Casino Resort proudly presents an unforgettable night of professional boxing. On Saturday, November 11th, our event features a stacked fight card with exciting bouts of live boxing that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Don't miss out on this epic night of boxing action. Tickets are on sale now at goldcountrycasino.com for this exciting event. November 11th at 7 p.m. only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
We are back. 45 more minutes. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Thank you again to Larry Krueger of The Krug Show on YouTube. That was great stuff. Larry will definitely be on again. Just love his Giants takes because Larry and I mean, we were joking yesterday about the bowl of nachos, the helmet bowl of nachos, and the Ghirardelli and the ice cream, and it's a great time. I don't know who's playing, but it's a great time. The lobster rolls, you spent about $500 and you don't even know who's playing. So hopefully the Giants prove us all wrong and they go out and they get a big fish. And speaking of fish, like I was talking with Nate, getting into fishing a little bit here now that I'm on the Sacramento River.
Okay.
Are you going to come with me?
If it's not if it's early, I can't do that's the one thing about fishing I can't get with is the 5 a.m. wake up. It's just I love that. I understand the fish be biting earlier in the day, but
I live for
way
that.
too early.
I live for that. Good stuff.
Well, you also have to pay for a fishing license, and if you only buy a day license, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So
we'll figure out the logistics later, Nate.
Yeah. Oh,
okay, you coming or not?
Oh, I didn't know I was invited. I'll go. Sure.
Great.
I'll go.
I'll go.
I guess. Yes. I suppose.
So
I'd love to go.
Hopefully the Giants get their big fish, whether it's Shohei, Yamamoto, somebody, please.
Or Trout.
Help us. Or Trout. Nicely done. Nicely done right there as we continue to talk Niners and Kings and all of those things. So Ryan G. Hensley, who is here on Twitter, kind of known as, I've been on Ryan's show, love Ryan, kind of known as a Trey Lance guy. Okay. So he's just giving numbers, right? And what we do on this show, we give I hate to say it like this because it's not a political show. We give both sides,
Yes.
right? And we talk about the pro Brock Purdy stats and the, I don't want to say anti, just stats that don't make Brock look as good. So I wanted to read some stats off to you, Chris, and the rest of the audience. This is from Ryan's Twitter. The 49ers have the most wide open receivers in the NFL by a large margin. And then consider that Brock is 6th in bad throw percentage and 20th. He's 4th in bad throw percentage and 20th on target throw percentage. Does that concern you at all about who he is as a QB? Just so people know, Jimmy was 12th in passing attempts in 2019, 12th in yards, and 6th in completion percentage. Matt Ryan was 17th in 2016, but 2nd in yards and 3rd in completion percentage. Right now, Brock is 27th in passing attempts, 11th in yards, and 8th in completion percentage. Does any of that worry you?
I don't think so, because not every team is treated the same, and none of those teams had a guy like Christian McCaffrey out there. And like I think, especially when you look more so, like the biggest difference there is in the pass attempts number. Like, Brock is 11th in yards, Jimmy was 12th in yards, and Matt Ryan had an MVP season in 2016, so that's almost not fair to kind of throw that in there. The biggest discrepancy is in just the attempts, and I would say the attempts is a direct link to passing has never been more prolific than it is right now.
Right.
And B, there's no Christian McCaffrey on either of those two rosters. Like, both of those teams were definitely a lot more passing oriented than run. Of course, the run game was still involved, but they didn't have somebody who they treat like Derrick Henry, essentially.
Right. But yes, because the Niners
20 to 30 touchdowns.
Yeah, but the Niners have always been seen as a run for
sure.
team.
Absolutely.
But I guess to your point, Jimmy in 2019, was that Mostert? Right? They had Mostert. They had a couple different guys. They did not have somebody like Christian McCaffrey. So he should go down.
Yes.
Right? But going down and Brock is still a second-year guy. So, but to go down to 27th, I think is okay. Maybe that's a little low. We're not sure what that means, right? And this also comes from Grant Cohn, who Grant Cohn and Ryan do a lot of work together. The past 9 Super Bowl champions all passed at least 35 times per game.
That's crazy.
Which is a lot. It seems like a lot.
That seems like a lot.
So the Chiefs in 2022 passed 38 times a game.
Sure.
2021 Rams 35.7 times a game. You go all the way down and you go to 2023, the Niners are passing the football 28 times a game.
Can to focus on the Grant Cohn one for a minute, the 35 passes per game. That stat is also a little bit of an unfair one, because I get, again, to go back to I think it was earlier this week, we were trying to figure out, what are you trying to say with this?
Right.
I think that's kind of not a fair one, because Patrick Mahomes is the Chiefs. You have Matt Stafford, who throws a ton even when he was in Detroit. You have Tom Brady as one of like 3 of those quarterbacks. You have Patrick Mahomes again. You have Tom Brady again. Then you have Nick Foles, who that was a specific situation, but Foles even was a guy who let it fly. Then you have Brady. Then you have, I assume, an old Peyton Manning in 2015, and then Tom Brady again. Those guys are all just
point.
They're gunslingers.
Yeah.
And it's just not this.
Well, you could even do it.
I don't know if there's a direct corollary between their pass attempts and them winning games.
Right. If you throw Stafford in that category, right, you have 1, 2, because Stafford, Hall of Famer, conversation for a different day.
Sure.
Numbers kind of say yes, right? Sure. So you have 1, 2, out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the 9 that he added, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them are Hall of Famers.
For Nick Foles.
Yes, all except for Nick Foles.
Yeah, who could be, his nickname could be the Great Exception.
Yes. Well, he's got a different nickname. We can't say it on FCC Airways. Sorry. But he does have a different nickname, by the way. You can look that up at a different time. But they're all Hall of Famers, so they're going to throw the football.
Right. Isn't this just like a time of possession stat, too? Like a glorified, like they're taking more snaps, therefore they're throwing the ball more?
It could.
Could that be what this is?
It could be.
Yeah, but time of possession is normally running, isn't it?
Yeah, but maybe it doesn't translate if you're throwing an incompletion or two here or there. You know what I mean? If you're running the ball, most likely the clock is going to be running, because you're probably running, inside the lines most likely.
Yeah.
So I think there's some X factors to that. as a biased Niners fan.
Yeah, I just wonder if, again, to the point of what is he trying to say? Is he trying to say that you have to pass the ball, like you have to be a pass-first team if you want to win a Super Bowl?
You need to trust it at some point.
Yeah.
I do think,
and I don't think we said this. The Niners are at 28.1.
Yeah, the Niners are at 28.1.
So they're like almost 10 pass attempts.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what is a bit alarming to me. The next lowest one was Nick Foles.
Yeah, at
35.3. 35.3. So take it with what you want.
Right.
But I think what's funny is watching it as Niner fans, doesn't it feel like the Niners have been throwing it all over the field?
Yes.
Doesn't it feel like that?
You got me with that this morning. Kind of. We were having a pre-show talk, and I'm like, man, the Niners priority one for them. Not priority one, but the way they play the game, they're a pass-first team lately.
Right.
And then you drop this stat on me. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But I think it's because it's recency bias. Again, we're talking about this on Wasabi Wednesday. What have you done for me recently? The Niners, in their wins, they've ran the ball a lot because they've been up by so much, right?
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean that's just my point, really. And then recently they've been throwing more because they've been down, they've been behind.
I just want to say, by this logic, I just looked it up. There's only 9 quarterbacks right now who are throwing over 35 attempts per game.
Should we guess a couple?
Sure.
Mahomes.
Yes.
Lamar.
No.
Josh Allen.
Yes.
Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Does Stafford count?
Stafford is not included on this list. Herbert is on there.
Was Garoppolo on that list?
Garoppolo was not on this list.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence
is not on this list.
Not your guy Dobbs.
Not my guy Dobbs.
No,
a different guy
Dobbs.
CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud is at 34.9.
Okay, so the Texans are going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, got to be Geno.
Just barely. No. I'll go down the list.
Yeah.
Number 10 is CJ Stroud at 34.9, just missing out. So the rest of these guys are all over the 35 attempt mark that apparently you have to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Number 9, Derek Carr, 35.1.
Okay.
Justin Herbert, 35.3. Josh Allen, 36. Bryce Young, surprisingly, 36.3.
No, they got to throw it when they're behind. Yeah.
Jared Goff is at 36.6. So for you Lions fans out there who maybe want to convince yourself, that's a good number for you. Patrick Mahomes, 37.1. Joe Burrow's at 38.5. Kirk Cousins was at 38.9. This is shocking. Number 1.
Okay.
Anybody want to take any guesses? We've listed Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, not Zach Wilson.
I'm trying to think if someone would be shocking. Is it Dak?
Who's probably the most random guy who's been started? He's started every single game this year. I shouldn't say random, but there's a couple guys.
Every single game.
Russell Wilson?
Not Russell Wilson. Sam Howell at 39.2 pass attempts.
And don't
per
they
game.
have like 15 running backs?
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Got to get to a break. When we get back to Kings talk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Looking to snap their 3-game losing streak. The San Francisco 49ers are back in action this Sunday on Sactown Sports.
McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
It's the 49ers and Jaguars from Jacksonville.
Sunday morning at 10 on your home of the 49ers, Sactown Sports.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit. What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long. Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Your defending Big Sky champion Sacramento State Hornets are home this Saturday afternoon against the Cal Poly Mustangs. It's Military Appreciation Day at Hornet Stadium as we honor our local heroes. And don't miss the pregame flyover as kickoff is set for 2 p.m. Let's pack Hornet Stadium for the final regular season home game of the year as the Hornets strive for a 4th straight trip to the postseason. Don't miss any of the action or excitement of Hornet football. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
God, I'm so stressed about my business not being ready for the holidays.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Guys, your testosterone level can impact your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Book your testosterone level check at Revive Men's Health, Sacramento. They're the local experts with guaranteed treatment for low T and ED. There are no lab fees, and all your tests are included when you start treatment. And many patients find Revive more affordable than their insurance deductibles and copays. Book your testosterone level check today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Nate Littlefield, and this is my last Sactown Sports headline. Your Sacramento Kings are making their debut into the NBA in-season tournament tonight. When the court is gray, it's going to be a good day. They take on the 5-3 OKC Thunder, who have won their last 2. OKC is favored by 1.5, depending on where you look, with De'Aaron Fox and Trey Lyles still out. We'll have all your audio bliss right here on Sactown Sports, starting with game night at 5:30, pregame at 6:30, tip-off with the G-Man, 7 p.m. Don't forget, all guests, all callers, brought to you by the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. And your Sac State Hornets are home this Saturday for a 2 p.m. kickoff against the Cal Poly Mustangs. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Those are the headlines. Now we get to the last half hour of this Friday edition of Stiles and Watkins.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, 30 more minutes with you as we prepare for Kings Thunder in-season tournament game.
There you go.
There you go. It is a little bit wordy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that the NBA did all of this marketing, got, Richard Jefferson to come and show us with, 4 buttons down and explain the tournament to us. They spent so much money on marketing, and didn't even bother to try and name it like even as simple as like the NBA Cup is a lot better
let's
than
think about
the in-season tournament.
In the first in-season tournament, so
and
IST.
You have the play-in tournament as well,
Right,
which
the
is
IST.
IST.
That sounds like
the IST.
No, that sounds like something I don't want to catch.
Yeah.
The IST sounds like a test in high school that I wouldn't have done very well on to get into college.
Yeah. SAT, ACT, and the IST.
How did you do in the IST? Man, are sneezes,
Didn't
are
make
they
it out to the
contagious or
knockout
not?
round.
I did bad on the court part
of the IST.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Thanks.
You'll be okay. As we get ready for the IST, the in-season tournament game between the Sacramento Kings and the Oklahoma City Thunder. A little bit of news to read to you, as Nate just did as well. We have some news of our own. Michigan football and the cheating schedule, the sign stealing issue that's been going on. And there's one that happens, when was the Astros? Was that 2017?
Oh man, I can't even think at this point.
Every couple years there's a new cheating scandal.
Sounds right.
Right? So this sounds like the right time for another one.
Yeah, we were due. We were due
definitely
for some
due.
cheaters.
So there's sign
What was
stealing.
the one before the Astros? Because I mean, Patriots. But that was like late 2000s. Deflategate.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
Patriots.
signs.
You're right.
Just something.
Some sneaky.
It was Deflategate, then it was like Bountygate, and then I feel
Oh,
like the
yeah.
Patriots had something before that as well.
There's
Tuck
got to be something every 5 years or so.
Mhm.
So this is the newest thing that's going on, and Jim Harbaugh has been suspended for the remainder of the regular season. We are assuming if Michigan makes the playoffs, he would not be able to coach, but it doesn't technically say that right now. For those of you who are shouting "Go Blue," how about don't cheat? And now it is institutional. So Chris made a good point during the break. Even if they were to fire Jim Harbaugh and he heads to Vegas for the Raiders, whoever they would name would also not be able to be on the sideline. So he's allowed to coach for the rest of the week.
Yeah, it's a really weird suspension, which I've never heard before.
Yeah.
It's like their only beef is don't coach on Saturdays. You can coach the team the entirety of the week. You just can't coach the actual game itself, which is really, really strange.
Well, that's the NCAA. Everything is strange about the NCAA.
Just don't get it.
And I know
get it.
Michigan said, well, we weren't the only ones. They tried to flip it and say some other teams. So who knows where this thing actually lands. We do have good news as we talk Niners and Jaguars. Debo ready to go.
Yeah.
And I saw, and I don't know even why this came up, but there were questions. We mentioned Grant Cohn in the last segment about a tweet he had, but Grant Cohn brought up trading Brandon Ayuk and trying to get a first-round pick for him next year because you got to pay him.
Yep.
And a lot of people were saying, trade Debo. Well, you can't trade Debo because of the dead cap, and it's about $20 million that you would have to eat if you traded Debo. So for those of you who said, well, don't trade Ayuk, trade Debo. And look.
Not only that, but like, look how the Niners have looked without Debo these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I think, Ayuk's he's been fine. He's been good. Wouldn't say he's been spectacular, but like he has not been an elevated number one receiver for the Niners since Debo's been out. And I think, you can maybe look at this stretch of games here where the Niners clearly have not found success as if that does happen, if they do move on from Brandon Ayuk, wouldn't surprise me if this is the reason why, is because when Debo was out, I wouldn't say, it's tough to say he didn't step up, but it's like, it's not all on him, but it's like, we're not getting wide receiver one level production from you. You're not a game changer in the same way that Debo is a game changer.
And going back to the amount of passes and the Niners and Brock Purdy being 27th in passing attempts, what we should do is break down how that dropped after Debo went out.
Right.
Because a lot of those check down Charlies that you could throw to Debo and he takes it 20 yards, you didn't have them. That's no disrespect to Brock Purdy. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
Right? You did not have them. So maybe that's why, which is almost has been an extension of the running game. So you don't have that. Maybe that's why that number has dropped a little bit. We'd have to break that down, which we can do next week to figure out, okay, is that why this happened? So we'll see what happens with the Niners. They got to get back on track. Let's get back on track to our Kings. And at 1:45 at the break here in a couple of minutes, we will come back with our dog segment. That's DOG, dog of the game. But the dog and dog of the game is DAWG. So don't get it twisted. Nate, here's the rules now because Nate went a little crazy on Wednesday. The rules are we do not play Baja Men unless they win. Baja Men is for victory, whatever day.
It's our version of the beam.
Yes, it's our version of the beam. We can't play Baja Men. We can't play this out and play Baja Men the day of the game, then play Baja Men if they win.
Right.
So we only play.
There you go.
There you go. You can play that. You can play that because we will be naming our dogs here at 1:45. Whitey and Draper on location at Golden One, so no crosstalk. So we will be doing our dogs of the game at 1:45. This is a big one, Chris, and that is why I you're my guy. You're my guy, I want to be on the moral victory side with you. But moral victories don't pay rent. Moral victories don't cash checks.
Yeah.
Moral victories don't get a beam. Is there a moral victory beam? Sure. Should there be a neutral beam for moral victories where it's just clear? Should we have that?
I don't like that. I don't like what you're trying to do right now. I don't like where
you're
getting
at. Where does it end, Chris?
I don't like where you're getting at right now. I don't like.
Where does it end? The moral victory beam. That's what we should have.
I'm just saying that, when you're in a situation like the Kings are in now, when you're slumping and things have never looked worse in the Mike Brown era, I'm just saying when actual victory looks like it's going to be a very large mountain to climb, I just am maybe saying for the mental state of us all, let's not make it actual victory or bust. I'm just saying maybe, just maybe, we can approach tonight looking for tiny victories and hope that those tiny victories lead to a larger victory.
I hear you.
But we should celebrate those tiny victories because of the place that we're at here and now. Now, does that mean on Monday or on Wednesday next week we have to have the same tiny victory conversation? No, but it's just about getting this thing back on track.
Get them back on track. Play well, and we understand that you could play better than you played a couple days ago against the G League Blazers and still possibly lose the game, and that's okay. Well, that's okay for Chris. Not really okay for me, but
I can't wait for Draper to come on and say, at the second 2:00 hits, he's like, I don't know what that guy Chris Watkins is talking about with these moral victories. I want a real victory.
See, no, but keep that energy on Monday when there's a crosstalk.
Oh my gosh.
Keep that energy on
Monday.
Monday.
Are we ever going to crosstalk again?
We're going to figure it out.
The streets are talking, and they're saying we're never crosstalking.
Why don't we just drive over there right now?
We should.
We just drive over there right now. Stiles and Watkins got to get to a break. When we get back, we want your dogs. We want your dogs. We'll have our dog from Nate. We'll have our dog from Chris. We'll have mine as well. And we see you, Dwayne Baker, on the YouTube chat. Yeah, we're still deciding if it's always going to be Baja Men when they win or just a dog-inspired
we gotta find
song. We can do whatever we want. All right?
Drake just made an album called For the Dogs. Like,
for all the dogs.
We can find other
plenty
dog
of options. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Friday night at the Golden One Center, it's the Kings' first ever in-season tournament game.
Sabonis heels at the arc. Now to Keegan Murray on a run by. He shoots for three. He's got the triple. Keegan Murray from downtown.
The Oklahoma City Thunder are in town to face the Sacramento Kings for Friday Night Hoops.
The quest for the cup begins Friday on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Good Guys Heating and Cooling has a deal going on right now that you cannot miss. This summer was much shorter and cooler than normal, so that means Good Guys is overstocked and ready to clear out their warehouse. They've got inflation-busting pricing on a brand new heating and air system for just $82.99. No other company is offering a replacement system that low. Call Good Guys now at 530-GOOD-AIR to see if you qualify. That's 530-GOOD-AIR for a no-cost qualification appointment. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1057-618.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com. What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, as always, of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening at Hoblet this month?
The Black Friday sales event is here, so you can save up to $14,500 off MSRP when you lease a new 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4xe. That's one of America's favorite SUVs to get your family where they need to go. And you can save thousands in gas over the life of the vehicle.
Okay, but what about that Jeep Wrangler that everybody loves?
Big savings there, too. Right now, save up to $13,000 off MSRP when you lease a new 2024 Jeep Wrangler Sport S 4xe. And yes, I did say the all-new 2024, Dave. I see the surprise on your face.
There you go. Better hurry in. Save thousands on your next Jeep. And they have 100 4xEs in stock as well. Stop by Hoblet Dodge for a test drive today, or search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices. Unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
14,500 total net savings after 11,500 factor rebates and 3,000 dealer discount. 13,000 total net savings after 10,000 factor rebates and 3,000 dealer discount. Rebates include 7,500 federal tax credit rebate. Subject to change without notice. Lease options subject to credit approval. Not everyone will qualify. 5 each net savings. See dealer for details.
Cooler temperatures mean it's time to reduce your outdoor water use. Water 1 day per week on Saturday or Sunday from November 1st through February 29th. Learn more about your home's watering schedule at sacwaterwise.com.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports, 15 more minutes with you. Thank you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful show on a Friday Fun Day, Veterans Day. Thank you again to the veterans. Thank you for your service. Shout out again to my mother and father. Dad was in the Navy. Mom was in the Air Force. So shout out to you. Shout out to all the veterans out there. And hopefully everybody's enjoying their weekend, especially if it's a payday weekend. Got to get down if it's a payday weekend. Yeah. Look, and I'm not trying to, be an accountant here or control anybody's wallet, but just be careful. My mom used to always tell me, pretend like you didn't get paid.
Yeah, that's
how you should spend. So don't go out. You got paid today, right? Having a good time.
Go hit up the mall or something.
Right. The fresh
weather's
J's.
Getting cold. Time to go.
Stay away from the sneaker
nice
app. Stay away from the sneaker app. Don't do that.
Get your trench coats ready.
But if you do, just make sure you have allotted a specific amount of money that you are going to spend. Don't go crazy.
Tell them, Marshawn.
Right. Don't go crazy. Invest in your chickens. Protect your chickens. Protect your mentals. And going back, as Simone is now behind the glass with us, going back to those first date places where you are or aren't allowed.
Yeah, that list is starting to look a lot better.
That list might have to be the one.
On
that list
non-paydays.
might have to be the one. Cheesecake Factory. No problems here. Okay, what else was on there?
Applebee's. I mean, your general run of the mill, like
what you
your
should
Buffalo
do,
Wild Wings or whatever.
Red Lobster.
Red Lobster. Get some biscuits.
Feel like that's not okay to have on that
Get
list.
some biscuits in your Chili's. The Southwestern egg rolls. You know how I feel about those.
Love Chili's, dude.
Got to
Love
get
Chili's.
down with some Chili's, right? This is what you should do. Payday. You don't go crazy. You just say, look, hey, we can go to Chipotle today. Guac, extra meat, and I won't even bat an eye. I won't even bat an eye. That is how you make sure, right? That is investing for your future.
Right.
That is investing for your future. Don't do too much. Don't do too much. All right. It is time for our dog segment. And Nate, you can play something. Just don't play we don't get the dog song unless they win. But play something while we're going through our dog.
Okay. Does it have to be like NBA related? Could it just be music?
Just whatever you're feeling.
Whatever you're feeling.
Whatever you're feeling.
I think it's going to take him a second.
Yeah. As we get to it, let's see. Reading some. Thank you, Rockin' New Era 84. Styles, happy Friday. Watkins, happy Friday. Rockin' New Era is going to the thank you taco truck. In for the taco truck for sure. 916-339-1140. Get your calls and get your texts in as we talk dogs for all the dogs. Let's see. 916. Go to Red Robin. That wasn't on the list. Shout out, Chris.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Very smart. Red Robin.
That's Dirty Bird.
Yeah, there you go.
Bottomless fries, right? Yeah, that's what I'm. See, me and Nate are on the same.
I used to work there.
There you go. Yeah. Shout out Red Robin. Red Robin.
Yum.
Are we allowed to do that? I don't even know.
Probably
707.
should've said the yum part.
We need Barnes to be a dog, all caps DOG,
Man.
like he was in Utah.
Okay.
He'll be the dog of the game. Thank you, 707. 707 also goes on to say, my boss says Monk is his dog. So thank you, 707. Listening
that.
with your boss. That sounds like a great job.
Sounds like a great
Hopefully
work
it's a
environment.
Payday Friday. That's
Man.
great stuff out of you, 707. All right. I always go to Nate first, so this time I'm going to go to Chris first. Who will be your dog of the game? Or a bold prediction, either way.
Shea Gilgit. No, I'm kidding.
Come on.
That'd be so bad. That would be so bad. That would be so bad.
Turn his mic off.
That would be so bad.
Turn his mic off.
There you go. Thank you, Nate. That's. I'm gonna go. You know what? I know that was not cool. I'm gonna go with Demontis Sabonis. How about that? Like, can we just pick the biggest dog out there? Like, it should be this should be an opportunity for the big dogs to eat. Again, I listed off those Will Z stats. OKC does not have size, and the Kings have to take advantage of that in every way possible, whether it be getting more, baskets at the rim. I thought they did a good job of heading downhill off of Sabonis screens in that Blazer game. So can you get to the rim? Can you exploit the rebounding advantage that you should have? Will we see JaVale and Alex Len out there in the non-Sabonis
You
minutes?
want to see that?
I'd be interested in seeing what it looks like. If I can't remember who OKC has, because last year they were running Jay Will at center, and that Jalen Williams is, I think, 6'8". So if they're still running really small guys besides Chet, I think that's like the biggest advantage you have. And again, the Kings don't really have a style right now. They're not playing at breakneck pace like they were with De'Aaron Fox. So if you're already slowing it down, I don't think having or playing big man or an excess big man is that detrimental to what you're going to be doing. So I think it would be an interesting counter. And if the Kings can get a big offensive rebounding advantage, I'm telling you, let me speak from experience. When you're getting killed on the offensive glass, it hurts.
Yeah,
it's like one of those momentum shifting things where it feels like you're getting beat worse or whatever. It feels closer than what it actually is. So can the Kings establish some sort of physical dominance over this team? I think is going to be big for the win tonight. And that all starts with number 10, the all-star, the all-NBA guy, the guy who's supposed to step up when the star isn't there, Demontis Sabonis. Please be the dog of today.
Wow. Nicely done. Joe Jaros on the YouTube chat. Mike Brown. This feels like a coach ejection game.
Yeah, I love that prediction.
Call the squad.
That's my favorite prediction.
Chat of the day. Joe Jaros.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Come on.
For
the
being
second
a part
the Kings go down double
of the
digits,
show.
Mike Brown.
Here we
Slam
go.
something.
Here we go on the YouTube chat. 916 McGee. Alley-oops, blocks. Let's get it.
Okay.
LTV. So JaVale McGee from the 916. That's their dog. JaVale. Look, JaVale's been around for a while, but you got no playing time. Maybe you feel some type of way. Maybe you feel like this is an opportunity for me. That athleticism, that might be a bigger deal in a game like this.
The JaVale hits home for me because I don't know if you guys remember my prediction.
Yeah, I did while I was watching the game.
Yeah, straight up, JaVale. I think JaVale would have 12 and 10, so a double-double. And I said he would get three rebounds on one possession. A bold prediction would have been him playing it all.
Yeah.
The guy didn't see the court.
He did not get on the
court. The guy
court.
didn't see the court. I couldn't believe it. I'm almost glad he didn't come in the next day because I was like, that was one of the most embarrassing predictions I've ever made.
It wasn't your fault. No one saw
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I found out this morning, too, that he was about to check in, and they pulled him back and threw Lennon. That's what I heard Dave or Jason say that.
Is that starting to bother? I don't know. I don't know if I love that from Mike Brown. What's going on there?
I don't know.
Like I said, it really is kind of high school. I'm not saying in a negative way, but he's really just whatever I'm feeling at the time is what I'm going with. So who is your dog?
So my dog is going to be Malik Monk. He's a dog every night.
Okay.
He's been the best player on the
I
Kings
see you
this
playing
season.
it safe after Wednesday.
Yeah,
That's smart.
That's a smart move.
Very smart.
I thought JaVale would get on the court, but yeah, my dog is Malik Monk. I think he keeps it up. He's playing at such high energy and so intensely. Maybe his shots aren't always hitting, but he those free throws at the end of the game,
clutch.
He called his shot. Malik's my guy right now. He's been my favorite King, I think, for the past year and a half now, or year and whatever.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's my guy.
That's your guy. 916 says happy Friday. Thank you, 916. Happy Friday to you. Hope you enjoy your weekend. And a beam. And a Friday beam. Let's go. I know it's my turn. Went Davion last time.
Yeah. Ended up being pretty good.
At least he played.
Should I go out on a limb here?
Yes.
You know what?
Do it.
This is it. It's not even that much. It shouldn't be that much of a limb.
Yeah.
This is it. Just like I laid out earlier, your brother was in town, your parents were in town. Keegan doesn't love the spotlight. There was a lot of spotlight on the brothers, the jersey swap. Now he just gets to chill. It's just a normal game. He's feeling a little bit less pressure. This is the game Keegan Murray shows up. We're going to be in the building. You know how many Keegan Murray, you know how many I'm counting? Over, under? I'm taking 5.5, and I'm smashing the over.
Yeah, way over.
Way
on
over.
that. They do it for every basket. Yeah, I'm taking the over on that.
8.5.
I'm starting to.
At 12.
We're
9.5.
We're getting close. We're getting close.
I'm slowing down.
Okay, LeBron. Not one. Not two.
Not two.
Not three.
All right,
two.
Keegan Murray. That's my dog. We got one more minute here, Simone. Who's your dog?
Man, you guys already took my Rottweilers. I am going to go with JaVale McGee. That was going to be
that was on the text line.
Yeah.
That was on the text line, so you're all good. You're all good. All right. Good stuff, and hopefully it is good stuff tonight. Like we said, we will be in the building. Chris Watkins, Alan Stiles, we will be in the building. So please, if you see us in the streets, say hello and take pictures. We love the fans. I would say trick love the kids, but you know. Well, no, that was a great song. You remember that song, Flashback Friday. There you go. Thank you to Nate Littlefield. Thank you to Larry Krueger who joined us. Chris Watkins, Alan Stiles. We will talk to you soon. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared